What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, the Don Tony Teflon Phil, the Issues Guide, Escaping from Podcast. Season 3 is in the books of our show. We have told people that this is going to end faster than they thought, Phil. It is finally here. Before we get into all that, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, and I can't believe it, Tony. You're right. These seasons fly by. We were saying this 5 episodes in. We couldn't believe that the season was halfway through. But now, after everything that happened in this season, all the lead up, we get this crazy season finale. I've said this a couple times this season, and I know not everyone's as high on this season as I am, but I'm high on a lot of things, as people know. But I'm very high on this season in particular. I enjoyed this episode a great deal, Tony. This gave us a lot of answers. I have questions about how we got to some of those answers, and we'll break that down throughout the episode, Tony. But this was a great episode, great season finale, and kind of really tied the room together, Tony. I like this episode a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about the answers. You got to give this show a chance to work. You know what I mean? And again, I don't want all the answers. When you get all the answers, the show is over. So I ain't asking for all the answers. I'm just asking for a couple. And I think they did a good job of taking out some of these questions that we had from season 1. And now we could start a whole bunch of new questions and how things are going to work itself out and everything else. But we have some people here in the chat. We're going to get into all that. We'll open up the phone lines for all y'all to call in so that we want to hear from you 100%. But let's say what up to the people in the motherfucking chat. We got Lauren DC in the building rocking with us. Kimberly is in here. Jay is in the building. Yaya Niger is in the building rocking with us. Samuel is in here. Dragon King is in here. Dwayne S is in here. Abdul is in here. Luna Cascade is in the building. Isis Blue is in here. TNX. Hey, Zeus is in the building rocking with us. Niger T is in here. My man Fernandez T, as always, is rocking with us. Number one, Saggy Star. Number one mod. Bouncing back and forth. Pulling double mod, dude, on my channel and yours. Is in the building rocking with us. Sweet Tooth is in the building rocking. Casanova Pugilist is up in this piece. Steph Snow is up in here. Baby Girl is up in here. Curly's is up in here. Wolf Spear is in here. Gold Soul is in the building rocking with us right now. The Real Rebel Eric is in here. Dr. J is in here. My man Ty is in here. Marvel LD is in here. Steed is in here. So many people. Thank you. Barney B is in the building. Right. Thank everybody for coming and rocking. If I didn't get a chance to shout y'all, we'll get to you. I promise you. We got a lot of people up in this piece right now and everything else. We'll say Gabrielle. We gotta shout the ladies, of course. We got to shout the ladies out. You know what I mean? Gabrielle's in the building rocking with us right now. All right. My man Alvin Rogers is in the building rocking with us too. Just gotta show him some. All right, Phil, 1 to 10. This episode. Season finale episode. So
I would say this is if I like to judge shows basically within themselves, like judging this based on every other From episode. And for From, I think this was a 10 out of 10 episode. I think this was as good as From gets. And I don't mean that as a backhanded compliment. I mean that this was as good of an episode as From we can get. And I don't care. I know some people will play the Sunday morning quarterback like, oh, yeah. We miss him now. Everyone's going to start liking Jim now, but not me. Ding dong. Jim is dead. Yes. I loved it. I cheered. I yelled at my television. I knew I was excited. And because in his last minutes, yes, Jim did get better in these last couple of episodes. And we saw that stuff as Tony and I were kind of pointing out. But in his final moments, just as one last Jim move, future Julie's telling him to run. Does he run? No, and I know maybe she can't control things, but either way, he's not running. He's not listening. He pushes Julie away. And he's like, I'm going to go try to fight the dude in the weird yellow jacket because I could totally beat him. But
and he doesn't even like I'm going to fight this guy, but not with my fists. I'm going to grab a stick. So the fact that you felt you had to grab a stick is a good enough reason to run.
Run, dude.
Right? Like if you felt like you needed a weapon to beat that old man's ass, like if that old man runs up on you, and you see an old man in the street and this dude run up on you and you feel like, damn, I better grab a bottle, you better run because there's no old man gonna scare the shit out of me. If old man run up on me, I would just laugh about it. So he seen that there was some type of issue here. And the fact that you knew there was an issue, your ass should have fucking bounced, bro.
Yeah. And Tony, you're someone that wouldn't run from an old man in a yellow jacket, but if you saw that dude slinking on, mentioning the song, being like, Jade's a good musician. Oh, you should. Hey Jim, what's up, dude? And like quoting weird poetry, knowledge equals death and all this shit. Wouldn't you just turn the other way and sprint?
Yeah, but I see that dude's eyes is pitch black. I gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I gotta go. I gotta go. I would have took the stick and catch and ran. That would have been
dart. Yeah, but
and that would have been it. I'd be like, catch, bye, we out of here. And I would have just bounced out of there. You know what I mean? That would not be happening with me, man. Nah. And again, Jimbo being Jimbo, trying to be the tough guy and everything else. And when it's dressed, when he dressed up like that, that's just the way it goes. He just don't listen, Jim. And we've seen it. And I said it. I didn't think they had the balls to kill Jim off, but we've seen them working towards the kill. It's a trope that a lot of shows do. You build the person up. I would say also, if you ever see things, you know what I mean? Like, you're a big Survivor fan, that if some person gets featured in that episode.
Yeah, the edit, the boot edit.
Yeah, most likely they getting voted off the fucking island. Yeah, you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's the way they did Jim. You seen him building up and everything else and coming into his own and finally doing the right thing. So you knew that the cat was going to get got and stuff. I didn't think they had the balls to pull it off, but they actually did, and they pulled it off, and they did a good job with it. Yeah, but I'm not mad that Jim's gone. I know a lot of people wanted him dead, and I'm not mad he's gone. You know what I mean? People may be trying to change it up a little bit. Some people, but not me.
And one thing we know for this show with Ghost Cautry was in this season almost as much as season one. Not that much, but we're going to see Jim again on this show. I think Jim is dead, but we'll see Jim pop up once in a while. But I do have a question about that after we get to this super chat, Tony. I have a question
if Elgin, thank you for the super chat, Chris. Very generous of you. It said, if Elgin thought the lady was an angel, he lost all logic when she left him to suffer at the hands of Boyd and Sarah. Why didn't he think to himself, damn, where is she after I helped her? Well, I will say this. I'm not very big on the Bible, but, we've seen trials like the trial of Job, where, we've seen people, even the Passion of Christ. You would say, why would God allow his son to suffer like that and get beat to death like that, basically, right? But he still did it. So it would be in the working that sometimes you have to suffer for your religion and your faith and stuff. What do you say about that question?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you're in for it right there, you're accepting a lot. I don't know if he thinks she's sort of in multiple places at once kind of vibe, because he knows that she's with Fatima. So he thinks maybe his place right now is to distract them why whatever's happening is happening. So he's serving his role in whatever the angel wants him to do. I think they sold me on the fact that Elgin was drinking the Kool-Aid. I think he was definitely feeling it.
And he said also, what angel in history has ever been depicted as scarred and disfigured like that, Shake Man? Listen, it could be a fallen angel.
Yeah, Satan.
Right? Yeah, it could be a fallen angel. It doesn't have to be a good angel. It could be a fallen angel. A lot of people think of angels like cherubs, like they see little cherubs and they think angels look like that. But angels are actually warriors and battle and stuff like that. So they really didn't look that. So, listen, I feel bad for the cat. You know what I mean? That he went out like that, and everything else and all of that. Looks like he's still alive to me. We got another one from Saggy Star. She says, I don't believe Jim is dead in real life. Seriously, I think it's a Jim Crow lie. We'll discuss it. When we do the recap, we'll get into the whole Jim being alive and everything else and dead and all that good stuff. But thank you for the super chat, Saggy Star. Very generous of you. Did the Jim death, was it shocking to you when you seen it? Did you see it? Did you feel it coming the way they presented it in the show?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think besides the fact of what we were talking about if Jim was featured getting the boot edit, I think they set that up through a course of a few episodes of showing Jim learning stuff and evolving and character growth that symbolized that television trope of his death. But I think in the show, the context of which it came at a very opportune time for television drama. He just finds out his wife is secretly like a soulmate with with Jade of all people, you know, and he's dealing with all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the stomach, steal your girl, take your kids, and play violin for you and dance on your grave right there. So it was like the perfect opportunity for something to be like another thing for Jim. And I thought the way they did it with Julie showing up, you kind of knew obviously once the Yellow Man showed up what was going to happen. Tony, I have a question for you in the sense of Julie. You talked about this a little bit in your video. And not that I want to challenge, but it's more of a question or open up the thing. Is Ethan omnipotent in his belief structure or what his read on everything? Can Julie actually control things? What was the rope? And I've seen a few people bring this up. Did she actually control the past when she threw down the rope? Or was that somehow Martin doing that? And that wasn't Julie. Which your take rolled around that?
Yeah, no, it was her. She controlled the past. Ethan doesn't know everything. Right.
Ethan doesn't know.
He's just giving his opinion on what he thinks it is, but we've seen firsthand that she was able to affect the past. And when you see Jim and Julie in that scene, Jim's already dead.
Yeah.
Like we never seen Jim actually die the first time that he dies. We don't see that. We see Julie come back after he's dead and then show him die again. So when he dies the first time, the actual death, Julie is not there. He's standing there. The man in yellow comes out and there's no Julie to push away and he gets killed by this guy. That's what actually happens, right? To Jim. No Julie there. The man in yellow is there. He gets into a bickering, whatever. We don't know exactly what words were said. It couldn't be the exact words because now Julie is there and he's telling her to run. So right there, she changed again how he died. He still died, but she did change it, right? So that is how it goes right there. So we know that she can affect it. Ethan is going on what he believes, but what he believes at this particular time is wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense too. And I think that's why I think we'll see Jim again. And I also think Julie said something interesting when she shows up there where she's like, I think this is where it happened. So she's probably tried a few times to go to different spots and meet up with him at different times to stop this. And she's finally figuring it out and catching up with him. So for all us Jim haters, this might not be the last time we see Jim, because I do think Julie does, as Tony was saying too, I think we've already seen Julie affect change in the past. So we know she actually can do stuff. She's not just a story walker. She has the ability to control things as well, I think, or
100%.
As well.
We got a bunch of super chats. Let's go through them and then we'll take some more questions. Let's go through them. First up is Phantom of Many Topics. Thank you for the super chat. Why don't the showrunners give Kenny a girlfriend? Which girl best fits Kenny? Not Acosta, I'll tell you that.
Danny's
Danny does not fit Kenny. All right, I don't want to see that at all. If I see that, the show is over for me. I'm not watching the show anymore. They're gonna lose me. So I'm telling you, showrunners right now. Listen, you want the coverage from the Don? Don't have that happen. Y'all do that to me, and we done with the show. All right.
I feel like tonight was a good step in your direction, Tony, because when Kenny tried to be like, "Come on, Danny," she's like, "Fuck you, Kenny," and like threw him off of her. Like she did a little like, "Fuck you, Kenny, don't touch me."
Yeah, so all that Eloise, her name is Eloise, her name is Abby, her name is all these things like that. You know, that's all out the window. All right, that was ridiculous anyway. So anyone who thought anything like that, that's all out the window. Let's be done with that situation. But as for what girl best fits Kenny, I would say the eye patch chick. He should rock with her. That's who I think Kenny should be. What's her name? The eye patch chick?
Clara.
Yeah, I think Kenny should be with Clara. I think that's more his style. That's more his speed for his looks. That's who we should be rocking with.
I think Eye Patch is a better nickname though.
Yeah, that may be Elgin's nickname from now on. Fatima says they reveal Acosta's first name. We just talked about that. Yes, his name is Danny. We got a super chat on your channel from Saggy Star, and it says, so where do we go from here with Fatima moving forward? Because the whole storyline was dumb. We could definitely get into it. I did not like the way they stretched this whole baby out. Thank God it's over. I'm done with it. I don't need to see it again. What did you think about the whole Fatima smile baby monster in itself?
Okay, the whole I understand it. I like how they do almost a Kenny from South Park thing, in the way that these townspeople, they can't die, so they come back as pods and stuff like that. And if people that know what I'm talking about, this is a South Park episode where you see like the Kenny pod. Every time Kenny you bastards, dies, his parents like receive a little pod that like grows in the bed to adult size Kenny. It's like, again, they copied South Park. It's like how Kenny comes back. But anyways, like, so I don't mind all of that. I think that all kind of is interesting. I don't mind bringing Smiley back. I don't necessarily love that we dedicated so much of the season to this directly. But the thing that I don't even know if it tweaked me the wrong way, Tony, but maybe you can explain this to me so it doesn't bother me as much. And it's not even bother me, but how did Fatima learn everything? When she says, I learned that that the townsfolk killed all their kids. Did she just get that from the baby? Did the baby like zap that into her brain?
They never explained how she learned it. I mean, she just said she knew.
Yeah, she just magically knew it.
It's some type of either. I mean, it had to be. I don't know, because they don't explain how she exactly knew it and how she got that information. They just show her with the information, but they don't say exactly how that information came about at all in there.
Yeah,
which is
that kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way, not the wrong way. I was just like, how does she know that? Did she just discover it like Jade and Tabitha did? If so, we didn't see a moment where she discovered that. Did Kimono Lady do it? Did she discover that information intravenously through the baby pod? Like, I want to know how Fatima learned that information.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Elgin, thank you, Chris. Again, very generous of you. Elgin needs to be put in the box for holding someone hostage as a whole ass demon. No way he can just live amongst the town folks now. What do you think they will do with him? Box or banish him or what? That's a lot of season. We're gonna do a whole season 4 prediction stream. We'll have all that, but we'll talk a little bit about Elgin's character, right? I don't know if he needs to go in the box for that. Again, it wasn't Elgin who did this. It was the town that was affecting him to do it. He didn't do anything to her. He didn't hurt her physically. He didn't, he just held her there against her will, which is terrible. But to go to the box for that, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't do anything. He is the one in the end who's going to be looked at as the victim of this whole situation. When people see this fucking guy lost an eye and his hand is smashed and the bone is sticking through his finger, it's going to be Elgin that people look at and sympathize with in the end. And it's going to be Boyd is the one who's going to be demonized for this whole situation. Yeah. It's not going to be Elgin. So I can't see them throwing him in the box. What do you think?
Yeah, especially, great point, Tony, especially after Acosta sort of does her thing with it and spins this around. And I think Elgin in this next season is going to be, we're in an eye patch. Chrissy will be rolling that eye pack in. He'll be one-eyed Jack, like walking around through the whole season. But I think if Sarah is alive and Sarah, if they can forgive, I know people haven't completely forgiven Sarah, but if Sarah didn't go into the box, Elgin's not going in the box.
Yeah,
it's pretty kind of that simple. And honestly, we keep mentioning the box and stuff, but really, Tony, you talked about this a lot too. Maybe it was last week, maybe the week before. Even the guy that we saw get put in the box, Boyd didn't want to put him in the box. The last minute he was dragging him out. That guy's just like, I want to stay in the box. I want to go. That was almost suicide by cop. Like in that moment.
100%. Julius girl, thank you for the super chat. It says, "Sup, Tony and Phil. What are your thoughts on why there has to be a certain number of people in town? Like when one die, one gets." I don't know if there has to be a certain amount of people in town. It does seem like they did that, but with the bus load of people, they've never given us an actual count of the people. What do you think? Do you think they have to have a certain amount of people in town?
I don't necessarily think so, but that could be a thing that eventually happens. I think that was something we were talking a lot about last season.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's exactly a case. But
Eric the Rebel, thank you for super chat. So the skeleton that Elgin first saw was the woman that also gave birth to the monster in season 4. A lot of Julie flash forwards and backwards. Julie moved the tent. I mean, yes, I already said Julie moved the tent. You can watch my video. It's so funny that I made that video of who moved the tent, and I said that Julie moved the tent, and them Julie, Marielle, and them moved the tent, and I got so much better. They can't hold that much in that tent. They can't. And now it seems, Phil, that a lot of people that have jumped on, because I see a lot of other YouTubers have made who they figured moved the tent and everything else. So when I see things like that, it just reminds me of my man Rakim. He said it the best, and that's it. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? Remember me.
One
Remember
thing,
me, the one you got your idea from.
Tony, last couple of weeks ago or something like that, I think I made a passive joke about how there's a warp timeline where Henry and Tabitha actually, they had that kind of vibe because they had done it before. And actually, now if you look at the whole thing, Henry and Tabitha in an alternate universe were married and had lots of sex and had Victor. So they did have sort of so they were sort of trying to facilitate the chemistry between them in a scene to make it so that was a reunion of husband and wife. Not just has she. So maybe that's why they killed Jim, because now you get Henry in town. You only need one of Tabitha's ex-husbands around.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely believe Julie moved the tent, and I don't know if that skeleton was Elgin at first. Seems like it because I seen him rocking that same shirt of the skeleton, so it's a good chance that it was Elgin there. Luna, thank you for the super chat. Does the missing eye thing mean that the soldier and the Puritan guy also did the same thing Elgin did, trying to help everyone got home and turned to monsters? It could. I mean, that would be a good get. I mean, or Elgin was those guys, and every time Elgin comes here, he gets his eye taken out. And Elgin just keeps coming back to get his eye taken out.
That would be vicious.
I mean, they show you in Victor's pictures all the time of someone with one eye or bleeding from one eye. That it's a constant theme in there with his pictures. So yes, it could mean that. It could mean that Elgin was one of those guys. I mean, the Civil War soldier was black. Right, so that could have been Elgin getting his eye taken out again. He could be coming back and everything. J-Mar, thank you for the super set. Julie coming back and trying to save her dad from the future tells me that no one has left from Ville. I think it means that anyone who dies, they got a way to bring them back. Right now, it doesn't matter who died; they could bring back anyone. This is something the showrunners are going to have to really tiptoe around because it could become monotonous. It could be stupid. This is a lot of power they have when they do that. And when you do that, you know what I mean? It could end bad for them doing something like that. What do you think about that? And
I especially with you don't want to get into a Star Wars situation with Force ghosts where everyone that dies is going to come back eventually, so it doesn't really matter that anyone dies. I've got a comment here from Jaha, darling Jaha. Thank you for all your support this season to both of us. Hey, Phil, I was shocked watching the finale. I was literally screaming, well, no, when Jim got killed. Everything was revealing. Wow. Yeah, it was a great episode. Everything was revealing, and we got to know so much about what was going on in town. And I like how they did it, too. I like how they just sort of splatted all across our face. But really, Tony, the MVP, and we haven't talked about her, and before we get in the recap, we should probably mention her because she is the MVP of this episode. Sarah was used in the best of Sarah ability tonight. Sarah coming in as just looking in the background while Acosta and Boyd are arguing, rolling her eyes and being like, there's no time for this. And just going upstairs and Elgin being happy. And then Sarah walks in like the worst version of Jack Bauer ever. Mm-hmm. And you just hear screams and rips out her eye. I thought this was excellent use of Sarah. I thought this was a great Sarah episode tonight.
Yeah, listen, Sarah's one of my favorite characters. I told people from the beginning that Sarah was important. She's the first person we see when we enter Fromland. There's a reason why she was the first person. I told y'all from the jump that Sarah is too important, that she's untouchable. She's not going to die. I told you that there's no way they can kill Sarah. And Sarah's the best looking chick in the show. I mean, I think that's if you look at her when outside and they're all dressed up in the deck, Sarah's the one who shines the most. So they're not getting rid of Sarah, man. Sarah in there. And Luna, thank you for super chat. Says, where did the kimono lady come from? Was she an OG? What do you think? Was she an OG or was she just a doula?
I'm guessing she's just another one of the townsfolk that just looks a little different. That's somehow I don't think she. Do you think she's anything more? Do you think she's when what's her name? When Fatima says something promised them they could live forever if they sacrificed their children. Who was the something? Was it the man in yellow? Was it the kimono girl?
Jinn, baby, I told y'all what it was.
Or was it a Jinn? Or was it
the Jinns? It's the Jinns. These people making wishes. They wish.
Is that what the man in yellow is? Is the man in
yellow?
The
man in yellow could possibly. I don't think the man in yellow is the final boss. I think there's a final boss, and I don't think it's the man in yellow. I think there's the Jin, the final bosses.
So
Now
you
remember,
think he's sort of the mid boss,
yeah,
like the
you
sub.
know this in any video game you play, the guy before the final boss is always harder to beat than the final boss itself. Right?
Tony, I don't want to talk too much about this because it's spoilers, but it's like with Invincible, like Conquest is coming next, but then there's somebody after him that you're really gonna have to worry about. Like Conquest is coming in, it's gonna be fucking crazy, but there's somebody at the end. It's Freddie Mercury coming at the end that's like crazier than anybody. That's so
100%. So yeah, I don't know if he's the final boss. And again, when Martin was locked up there, he said they are coming. They are coming. He didn't say one person is coming. He said multiple people are coming. When Sarah hears the voices, she hears multiple voices laughing. It's not one person. So it's not just the man in yellow. There's a bunch of these people there. There's
Tony,
a bunch of them and everything.
Who is Cautry? I've asked this many times. Cautry isn't Cautry. Is that a good force? Is that the boy in white talking through there? Is that the man in yellow fucking with Boyd? What do you think Father Cautry is?
If these images are the boy in white trying to look like something that they would be able to talk to, or someone from the fourth dimension.
That's my instinct.
Yeah, who's anyone, when you watch a movie from the fourth dimension, and people, anytime you deal with a character from the fourth dimension, they always come back, and it's a trope, and you can see it all the time. There's always these guys from the fourth dimension, no matter whether it's Contact, Interstellar, go watch them all. But when they deal with people from the fourth dimension, they always come back as characters these people are comfortable around. This is what they always do. It's the way it always goes. Every time, go watch any movie, they always come back as a character that the person they're talking to is comfortable talking to. So I believe it's someone from the fourth dimension that is coming back and talking to them, because that's how they can see everything, and that's how they know everything is going on and everything else like that. So to me, it's definitely the fourth dimension. Now, listen, the aliens are coming, people. Don't you'll see when it's all said and done. I ain't even worried about it. Like, hey, what up to my man Reels from Real Theories in the Day with rocking with us? And what up to my lady Lamar in the building? I ain't got a chance to shout her out. Glue Guns and Roses and Carla Way in the building. My sister Coley Cole is up in here and everything else. And my man Pete Easy is up in this piece and everything else. Y'all know where to get those t-shirts, man. Make the Don some money. Get those t-shirts, man. Come on.
I like this one, Blackhand Jack. Sarah is an eye or die chick. Wife her up.
And now, let me let y'all understand exactly what I'm saying here. Sarah is the prettiest girl in there. Doesn't mean she's the Don's type. All right. Just because she's the prettiest doesn't mean that's who I would be with. My type is over here, right over here. Like this. I don't need to have the prettiest girl in the room. Like this is the Don right here all day. You know what I'm saying? So but overall, there's no. I don't think that you could say that she's not the prettiest girl on the show. I think to me she is. You think we see new sacrifices, kids and monsters? I think that you will see these sacrifices, the original sacrifices. They'll go back in time and show it eventually exactly how it went down. New sacrifices, they don't have any kids to sacrifice but Ethan in there. So I don't know if we're going to see any new sacrifices. Maybe that's what Julie, Marielle, and Randall was supposed to be, some type of sacrifice. What do you think, though?
Maybe Ethan dying is possibly that could be what their sacrifice was for. But you saying Ethan might be dying, maybe Ethan turning into an Anakui kid somehow at some point in time could be a way of dealing with his aging.
Yeah, listen. They're taking 2 years off. Ethan's coming back big as fuck in 2 years.
He's 12 right now. He's coming back at 14.
Yeah, he's going to be 14 years old when this show picks back up, bro. And it's supposed to pick up in like the same night.
13. Like they'll be shooting. They'll be shooting it over 13. Yeah,
regardless, the kid's coming back with a mustache thicker than mine. All right, Ethan coming back.
That's a great beard.
Huge. Yeah, Ethan coming back, but they got to figure it out. Like they swerved it with the boy in white very well. They did a great job swerving that, but I don't think they can swerve Ethan. They may have to recast him. They may have to figure something out. Blackhead Jack says Sarah is an eye for a die chick. Wife her up. 100%. Listen, I'd be scared to sleep around Sarah. I wouldn't go to bed by her. You know what I mean? We had to sleep in separate rooms with locks and shit. But I lay next to her here and there. T, thank you for the T-Mine. Thank you for the super chat. Do you think Julie's new powers will get a scene where she goes back in time and we see we just said, we just talked about that. Listen, I should have got to your question before, but yeah, I do think that we're going to get that. Phil, do you think we're going to see the rituals take place with the power?
Yeah, I think introducing her like this opens up the possibilities to see all sorts of things throughout the Fromville stuff and kind of dip into that thing, because we're going to see Julie traveling through different steps to try to change things at different times, and getting hurt, getting the slice across her face, which is very Heroes-like. Is she Peter Petrelli with the slice across her face, just trying to stop Siler somewhere in history?
The wig was a little nutty. The wig didn't work all the way.
No, I thought the wig was fine. The scar kind of got me because it reminded me of Hero.
Marielle must have cut her hair for her. It was a little janky there. The wig department's not doing a good job there. Maximum, thank you for the super chat. The man in yellow warned Jim, your wife shouldn't dig that hole. Did Tabitha find the bracelet in the tunnel? What does digging reveal about it? So let's go through it. Your wife shouldn't dig that hole. That's because she found out where the monster lived, and she found out what was on the board written underneath, especially the big red creature. That's the final boss that's there. Did Tabitha find the bracelet in the tunnel? No, she found the bracelet inside of Mrs. Lou's shops is where she found the bracelet in there. What does digging reveal about her? I don't know exactly what it reveals about her. It reveals that her feet are very strong because she fell. She didn't sprain an ankle or nothing. She just jumped right down there and got back up. No problem, Tabby did, and everything else. So that's what that. We got another super chat.
Tony, I know it's not a popular answer, but I think honestly he only mentioned that brought up the whole thing about you shouldn't have been digging that hole, just to kind of remind you or show you that he was the guy as the voice. I think it was more of like a television thing to be like, hey, everybody, let me say my line so you know that I was that guy and I've been fucking with Jim this whole time. Yeah, and he's probably the guy that's been pretending to be Thomas too. So I think that was just a fuck you line. I think it was a throwaway line to be like fuck you to him.
I agree, but we also have to say that the first voice that Jim got was not that voice. He did get somebody else first, and then that voice said, "Jim, hey, Jim." Yeah, that was different. So it could be that those are the multiple people that are there, because we know it's more than one person, but that it was two different people on that line when he did get that. Step Back Merchant, thank you very much. It says, "What if the man in yellow is Ethan in the future? Remember when Ethan got to Fromland, he was wearing a yellow raincoat. Coincidence?" I mean, that guy looked like he was rocking a zoot suit, and he had a dirty Henley on, and everything else. Could it be Ethan? Maybe. I wouldn't say it's Ethan. No, I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think if they go the route that everybody is somebody from the past, it's not gonna work.
It's Jade's father.
Yeah,
if it's anybody, it's Jade's father.
I could see it being Jade's father, 100%. I could see that.
Jade sure is a good musician, or whatever he said about that. I don't think it is, but if he is anybody, Tony, this is a weird one. I also think he can transform, and he transformed himself into the spider. He's the giant spider. I think the man in yellow is the giant spider, and he's the one that dragged the damn tent. I'm making shit up tonight. I don't care. I'm going.
Listen, it sounds good, Phil. Keep going with it.
I'm doing it. Mind you, lock it if that happens.
Lock it in. Lock that in. Final answer for Phil right there. It was the man in yellow who turned to a spider that dragged the tent.
Phil, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
100%. So. Yeah, listen, y'all will see. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that the Don can come on here and and let you know about. You know what I mean? After when we seen in this episode.
I fucking told you.
And we won't brag about it though, Phil. We're just gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go. Yeah. We ain't gonna brag about it. We ain't gonna brag about it. We're just gonna let that stuff go. You know what I mean? Even though when I told everyone about the music stuff, if y'all go in my comment section, on the theories video, we're gonna get into the comments that people left me in the comment section about that theory when I made that theory up, and how everyone said I was stupid. We heard everyone said I was an asshole. I had no idea what I was talking about. I'm never right and everything. We're gonna talk about that though on Wednesday. We'll do all that. and everything. All right, we want to get into this recap.
Let's do it in a second. And yes, I don't know why, but like I feel like this guy can transform into something, but who knows? Again, I'm a little off tonight, so let's get into this. 1, 2, 3, recap. Okay. I got too many toys right now. It's like I just got like things to hit. I'm like this is no, not that. No. I got no one wants that. There we go. Sorry, Tony. Okay, that's enough. Let's get into this recap.
Yeah, Luna. Luna turned her head for a second, then she's like, "Oh, it's just my daddy," and turned around.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. I got worried for a second, Tony. I'm like, I think I'm gonna make too much noise and bother the dog, but the dog didn't seem to care. She's just like, yeah, I don't care what the fuck kind of crap you got, whatever.
Yeah, Luna's
she's just
like, oh, I'm back home.
Okay, enough of that silliness, Tony. Let's get into this recap of this damn episode. Okay. Phil, I need to run around the room with the zoomies for the final season. Maybe in a little bit. Maybe we'll see if I can jump up and down like an idiot tonight at some point. But let's get into this episode. So we come on in, Tony, and we come on in, and Boyd and Kenny are trying to find Fatima. Now, we talked about this last week to give credit where credit is due. Boyd is doing gridding. He's gridding out the whole town, and he's setting it up to check everywhere for her. And Kenny starts to ask why she was in the shack, and Ellis comes in, interrupts right in the right moment. And I kind of like, did you like how they did this, where they didn't necessarily, where last week we see that Ellis knows, and then they just kind of zip over to here and have him be like, yeah, I don't trust Elgin. Do you like the way that did that, or would you have rather sort of see him get in Elgin's face?
Now, listen, if it was me, I would have choked Elgin. I would have I told you I would have waterboarded him at the pond as soon as I suspected him. But I do like the fact that they just got right into it. Like, they didn't drag it out. Like, boom, I think Elgin knows, boom, let's go. And everything just motivates real fast. I like the fact that they got right to it. I thought the pacing of this episode was the best paced episode of the whole season. And sometimes they have a problem with pacing of episodes. But this one, the pace was on right from the beginning.
Okay, Tony, I feel bad. So excuse me 1 second, Tony. I'll be right back.
All right, we are back with the recap. Phil Issues guy, Luna is like, what the hell just happened? But she's seen it before.
Yeah, she's like, okay, fuck, come on, daddy. So then we see Fatima in the cellar room, and she's real pregnant now, like 9 months looking pregnant, and something weird's inside her, and it's moving around. It looks like what's in Vigo's bathtub in Ghostbusters 2. And it's just really horrifying, and it's pounding, wanting to come out. And then we get our intro. Then we come right back, and Ellis explains to Boyd and Kenny that Elgin said to him in the last episode about it all happening for a reason. It's all important not to be afraid. And he says, not sure if Elgin snapped or something's going on controlling his mind. But he seems to think he's helping by doing this, helping the baby to go home. What I love about this scene, Tony, is Boyd just watching the whole thing like, these motherfuckers. Like, he is stewing the whole time, like freaking out, getting ready to like I'm going to have to do something. This is like, they just want to keep breaking me. Mm-hmm. Boyd tells Ellis and Kenny to go to Colony House and not let Elgin leave. And Boyd's got some business to do, which is go talk to Sarah. And I mean, who else is he going to talk to in this situation? It's go to Sarah, because she's the best person to handle in a situation like this.
Yeah. Listen, if you're going to deal with voices getting in someone's head, who has the experience of doing that? That is Sarah, right? So you have, if you have a fire, you get a fireman, right? If you have a broken thing, you go get Chrissy. If you have voices talking to you, you go get Sarah.
Jacob,
And he did the right thing by going and getting her.
And they're just like, what you gonna do? And he's like, no, just get the fuck out of here. So then we get Jim and Ethan walking back to the house, and Victor's there. And we haven't talked about Victor yet tonight, but Scott had another great episode. And I think what he does so well is just play a kid. Like he just, like his ideas, his sensibility is such kid logic. So Jim and Ethan walk back to the house. Vic's like, Tabitha fell down. And Jim's like, what? And Jim was almost back to Jim tonight, but he's holding it together at times. He's like, oh, what happened? Oh. And Victor and Ethan talk about the boy in white. And this was great. Ethan says, oh, you saw the boy in white. What'd he say? And Victor, with his stand-up comedy work all season, he wasn't helpful. He's just so deadpan hilarious.
He has been great with the jokes, 100%. We got over 500 people with us right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boys up in here, rocking with us and everything else. And people saying, Tony Teflon, are you going to dance? And the answer is the Dons don't dance.
No, he has people. Don has people dance for him. He doesn't dance.
That's right. The Dons don't dance, baby. Dons don't dance.
But I was just gonna say, I did a podcast with somebody else on one of these episodes on Halloween, and that person was dancing. We're not gonna talk about that though.
That he wasn't a Don.
No, but he was dancing.
Yeah, because he wasn't a Don.
So yeah, we're not going to talk about him though, but yeah, he was dancing. So Jim and Ethan are walking back. Victor says the boy in white was not helpful. Julie takes Ethan to the diner, and Victor, I don't want to come. So Tabitha explains what happens to Jim and about the kid leading them to the root cellar, and Victor being upset about the night his mom left and hugging him and getting some thoughts. And this was like, Jim's like a vision. She's like, no, it's not a goddamn vision, Jim. I had a thought, a feeling. It's not a vision. Fuck you, Jim. I almost felt for Jim in that moment because it's like, no, Tabitha.
I felt for Jim at the end when she's like, no, I can't do this. Like at that point, I was like, what the fuck you mean you can't do this? Like when he said it, he grabbed her and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do this. What do you mean you can't do it? You better open your fucking mouth here. So I felt for him at that point right there.
Tony, I got to be honest that something I didn't pick up on, and that people that watch this show, like some of our amazing viewers, listeners to the podcast, friends of the show, like other people have said this, and I never picked up on it, and you've said it too. How much Tabitha says no. I feel like you and I have to do a rewatch, like we're just hanging out watching all the episodes and play a drinking game. And like every time Tabitha says no 3 times in a row, you finish the bottle, and like we wouldn't make it. We'd die of alcohol poisoning. In this episode especially, she's just like, no, can't. No, can't. That's half of her dialogue.
All the time. That is her line. This whole season has been no. That's all they've given her to say and everything. This whole season, it's always no. I can't. No. I can't.
Tony. No. I can't. No.
Yeah, I couldn't be. I've heard that from girls who are like your friends and stuff, and you get into that situation like, no, we can't. This is wrong, good friend. This is wrong. But usually it changes. But Tabitha looked like the type, she just runs away and stuff, and everything like.
No, Tony, no, I can't.
This is wrong.
I can't. And I love. We'll get into it later. Some of her smiles at Jade while he was discovering things was very sweet, and we were talking about them together before this was a thing. So just for the record, you and I were already trying to come up with our Tabitha and Jade nicknames while people were calling us crazy. Tony, I just want to.
They were calling us crazy. When we were coming up with nicknames for them. We were shipping them.
I think in one comment section, people are like, why do you guys always have to put people together? Like, not everyone has to be a romance thing or something. And no. They have the special sauce. They're like Baby and Johnny. They have it. No one puts Tabby in the corner. On Jade's watch, damn it.
That's right.
So Tabitha, I always look for opportunities to quote Tony's favorite movie. So one of my favorite movies as well, by the way. So Tabitha also explains what happens to Jim about the kids, blah, 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 all that. She felt Miranda was there in the room, that took her to the death. and I like how she refers to Smiley as just, some smiling creature in the forest. And I saw her die. Jade is working. Jim comes in and says, and Jade's like, we're closed. And he's like, you're going to want to hear this. And this is just a funny interaction. Jade's like, no, Jim, we can't be friends. And Jim apologizes. He says, I'm sorry. I'm scared. I don't know how to protect my family, but I think you can. And Jade's like, okay, dude, kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, Jim.
Yeah. Bend the knee, Jimbo. Bend the knee. But it's another sign that Jim wasn't making it. Like they butted this up. They were not hiding the fact that Jim was going to die.
No,
like they were not hiding it. They let everybody know that Jim wasn't going to make it. Again, I didn't think they had the balls to kill him off, and they really did, and they got rid of him. So I did. Listen, in all honesty, everyone I thought was going to die, I got wrong.
Me too.
I thought Elgin was going to die. I called Elgin being dead. Nope, I was wrong on that. I called Fatima dying this season. Nope, I was wrong on that.
I said Fatima or Ellis 100%. I guess I was 100% wrong.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I did not see Jimbo. They pulled that one, because when they said some of your beloved characters are gonna die. Like, who's fucking thinks Jim's beloved? Like, who's gonna think that about Jim? That's how they trolled us with that. That was the troll when they used that line and everything else.
But I think we thought, for the most part, that the Matthews family, being our point of view characters, were probably going to be safe. I think that was one of our things in our pre-death podcast that we did, where we're saying that would they be later on deaths? But I think this was a great situation, especially if we're going to really examine the relationship between Tabitha and Jade. And I don't even mean from a romantic standpoint. I just mean the historic relationship between Jade and Tabitha, or Christopher and Miranda, or whoever they were in the past. If we're going to say even Julie, Randall, and Marielle are going to visit them, or whatever's going to happen. I'm just making stupid shit. We'll have plenty of time to talk about this stuff in the year and a half till the show comes back. But whatever happens with that, it's easier with Jim out of the way. It just it will have more weight to it with seeing the two of them as a central thing. And I think this was probably always supposed to happen with Jim. I don't think this was a response to people hating Jim or anything like that. I think this was probably always supposed to happen to Jim eventually. And I think Henry being there mitigates Jim's necessary need, because you have another one of Tabitha's former husbands, or someone that can sort of,
you can't have everyone that Tabby slept with there.
Exactly. Like, you got to sort of cut back.
You got to cut some out. Tabby has slept with all the men there from 70 to 40.
Exactly.
Tabby has hit them all. She has hit them all. So you got to get rid of one of them. You can't have them all. I'm telling you, Tabitha might start being attracted to this dude now. And they may roll with that, and all of a sudden she attracted to this dude and everything else and all that good stuff. We don't know.
It's just easier if you get rid of Jim. So it's just easier if you get rid of Jim. So our next scene is Boyd going to Sarah in the church. He grabs her, and it's kind of a quick scene in the church. So we yada yada the church, and this is one of the leaked scene or put ahead scenes that we got earlier with Sarah and Boyd walking to Colony House. And telling her about Elgin's a good guy, close to Tilly, good guy, but acting strange. Knows where Fatima is. Told Ellis, Fatima the baby. It's, it'll help him go home. It's all for a reason. Sound familiar? And Sarah's like, "Yep, I know what I'm getting." And right there, Sarah's like, "I knew. I have a certain set of skills, and I know what to do." Tony, people always say Donna with the pockets and stuff. The other thing that Donna does whenever she comes into a scene, and I love this is a great Liz thing, she just comes in like a bat out of fucking hell, dude. She's like, why the fuck is Elgin up in the upper rest? And then she calms right down. She's like, oh, okay, no. But
she always hit every scene. She hits it hard, like, what's going on here, everybody?
What's up? I love
it. Okay. And then she I will say this though about Donna's character this season. And this is why Donna is definitely the mold. If you look at Donna from the season 1 all the way to this season, they have not given her a lot to do. I mean, if you really look at the things that she's interacted with and everything else, she has not been given a lot to do. Everybody else has a storyline but Donna in this show. Every character that has come into this show has gotten a storyline, but Donna has never gotten one, and she's been there from the beginning. And I'm telling you, her storyline is going to be that she's the mole in this place because there's nothing else for her to do. Look at everybody. Doesn't matter what it was Elgin, Sarah, Marielle, any character you give it to, Bata, everyone has gotten a storyline, but Donna has never gotten a storyline out of this whole show. What storyline was she ever given? Nothing. Yeah. So I think her storyline is going to be she's going to be the mole.
Yeah, for the most part, all she's done is cleaned up other people's messes or been sort of the person that's dealing with reactions or enhancing other people's storylines. So if she is someone that's in other people's business, that's kind of what her whole thing has been. Her main story this season from her own standpoint was everything to do with Dale or sort of connecting with Henry. I mean, and those were very small things. They weren't really stories. They weren't really stuff. It was more just scenes that they gave her or the connection she had with Dale, but that was sort of underplayed too.
Yeah, but there's we'll take the super shots real fast. Chris says Tabitha's from the streets. 100%. She's in those streets. Luna says, what was the earliest date carved into the lighthouse stairs? That's when all the cycles start. We have no depiction that those are dates. Those were the same numbers that were in the bottles, right?
Yeah, that could have been the notes too.
Yeah, they were the notes, I believe. I don't think they were dates at all. I think those were the numbers in the bottles that were carved in there. So I don't believe that they were dates. I could be wrong, but that's the way I took it.
Again, we'll have plenty of time to get into that stuff in the year and a half as we analyze things to happen in these next seasons.
People saying it's not the same. Glue Guns saying it's not the same numbers.
Okay, 1,600 and something sprinkle, Kitty says.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say, 16 or 1,700 or whatever it was, I think, with the early numbers. Okay, so yeah, Boyd is like, where's Acosta? Still looking. How many folks are inside? Clear the house. So then we go off to Jade Jim talking about Tabitha and about her experiences, emotions, talking about Smiley. And Jim says, Jade, you had a vision too, or bumping or seeing the Smiley monster. And Jim says, Jade, you have visions too. And Jade's like, no, it's not the same thing. Like, I see a Civil War soldier. I see people that shouldn't be there. It's like, I'm not actually going places or doing anything. It's not the same thing. He's not saying
that he was the Civil War soldier. He's in the vision of the Civil War soldier being there.
Yeah, they're just
that was the difference. You know, you didn't see Tabitha standing there when this chick was running around. Tabitha wasn't there looking through the woods, peeking and watching the whole thing, you know, and everything else. So Jade's visions are definitely different.
Yeah, Jade's getting into something from whatever.
Luna sent another super chat saying that they're dates. We'll go over it. Maybe they were. I'm not sure. Maybe they were, but we'll go over it. But you know, I trust you, Luna.
And they're just talking about, and then Jade kind of throws up a situation that says the first law of thermodynamics is energy can't be created or destroyed. It just changes from one form or another. So maybe our souls, if you believe in that, or our energy is kept here and it just circles in here, and we're all lingering here, people of the past.
Jade, you know, it's funny because I watched a video about this on Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it. And someone had asked him the question that do people really die?
I think I saw
and he was explaining that since everyone is made of energy and energy can be, you could always get energy back, even if you can. He was depicting it as like a hard drive. And he said, even if you burn the hard drive and break the hard drive into 1 million pieces, the data is still there. Just because we can't physically retrieve the data does not go away. And he said he was depicting that is the way it is with humans and souls and energy, because we're all energy. So even though we do die and the physical body dies in this plane, the energy is still dispersed, and yet it's still there. Even though we may not be able to retrieve it, the energy is still there and stuff. So I thought that was an interesting thing. I just happened to watch that, and then they said this on the show.
Think Story says, and hi, Think Story, 1506, or somebody said 1506.
And what up, Think Story? I've just seen him. He's supposed to call in tonight. He said he's going to call in. This is his last chance. We'll see. Not his last chance, but we'll see if he actually does call
in. And let's see. Fernandez T with the super chat. Yo, gents, that scene with Smiley being born, was that the future of the past since Smiley is dead in the normal timeline? That was the present. That was him being reborn. Basically, every time one of those monsters or townsfolk, which are former townsfolk that sold their soul to the jinn or to whatever, to live forever, and sort of like a trick live forever, that they're cursed, and they are these creatures that can't die, and they sort of circle, and every time that they are taken out for whatever reason, they're reborn as these pods and are regrown. And
so what I think happened there in the whole situation is that when the Smile Monster died, I think his essence went into the cicadas, because they showed his body and then they showed those cicadas in the body. And I think that now that he's reborn, Randall won't get haunted by the cicadas, because I think those were the Smile Monster in that form, like his body transformed and his energy transformed to those cicadas. And that was him until he was reborn, like he was living in those bugs. And now that his energy's back in his body, those cicadas will go away. But I think that's why we had those cicadas to begin with.
interesting. Okay. I could see some, I could absolutely see something like that. So, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then he says he was not back there. You said something interesting with the thermodynamics. Jade says the creepy kids you were seeing because Miranda wanted you to learn something. And where'd you see them? By the truck. So then we get to Elgin, who is Elgin's like me when I got busted when I was a kid shoplifting, and like you're coming down the stairs, you got the stuff in your pockets, and suddenly you're surrounded on all sides by everyone. Like, hey, where are you going, kid? I don't know where I'm going. I don't have a frozen lasagna shoved down my pants. Don't look. I'm sorry, guys, I don't do that. Elgin and the cops are like, come on, everybody, and everyone takes him upstairs. Like, where are you going? He knows something is up. He's scared. Sarah's quiet in the background watching it. Boyd's like, where are you going? You sure got a lot of supplies. I'm going to ask you, where's Fatima? He hesitates, and Ellis is like, fucking answer. And he says, she told me not to say anything. And he says he's sorry. And Elgin, I'm sorry about your mom, Ellis, and I can't imagine what you're going through. He wants to help. What he's doing is a good thing. He doesn't want to hurt her. This is going to be a good thing. And Donna's like, who's she? And he goes, he starts singing a Black Crow song. He's talking to angels. And he says it told him that this is, that people aren't going to understand. It's like in the Bible, like, people do hard stuff sometimes, and they just have to have faith. And Fatima's baby's going to save us all, Tony. It's going to save us all. And Boyd says, no, baby. Elgin's like, it's not true. And he's like, what's growing inside her is beautiful. And Boyd says, no, it's fucking dangerous. And Elgin's like, the angel told me that you'd say this, and it's all good. It's going to be beautiful.
It's good that they, the title is Revelations. They brought up angels. Father Khatri brought up angels, and God and stuff. So it's good that they went back to that, and they made it seem like Elgin was a highly religious person. But what we see is that this place preys on the nicest people that are there. Whoever's really nice, those are the people they try to manipulate with this whole situation. They just go after the nice people.
Or
they don't go after the mean people.
Or the horny people like Porn Stash.
Yeah, Porn Stash. Well, that was just him being horny. I'm saying the actual people, like the entities talking to him and stuff.
Totally. They go to like the weaker, nicer people.
Just a Porn Stash bastard who's just trying to fuck a monster. You know what I mean? You could be right. How to fuck a monster? We should make you could make a video with that, like I say, how to fuck a monster, and
like a spoof of How to Train a Dragon, like how to train
a dragon, how to fuck a monster. That would be Porn Stash's movie.
I would watch that too. Sarah comes in to remind him. He's like, when we met, I told you I killed my brother. You know why? I heard the voices. They said similar shit that you're saying right now. If I killed the boy, go home. And this place does not give; it takes. And he's like, this is different, Sarah. Like, don't you see it's different? No one's going to get hurt here. And Alice is just like, fuck this. I'm done with this. And then finally he does what we've all been wanting him to do for an episode and a half now. Just comes in Elgin. It's like, what? You tell me what the fuck we want to know. And Donna's like, if this is even true, we got like 9 months to wait. And Elgin's like, no, it's fully grown. And they all head outside to talk about this. And Boyd says, we'll find out everything. We got to know if this is true. And Don's like, is this true? Is she ready to pop? Sarah interrupts. He's not going to tell everything if he believes this. And Boyd's like, where's the tools? I'm going to have to go medieval on his ass. And that's the end of that whole scene as Boyd heads off.
Yeah, Boyd heads down and says, listen, I will say we're going into the whole situation with Boyd inside there and the Father Khatri of it all. And everything else.
Yeah, that's our next. But we have a quick scene with Henry and Victor before that.
Henry and Victor. All right, before we get to let me. I think we had some super chats. Let's get those through real quick. So we got Corin Winter said, do you guys think Sarah is possibly Elgin? Sarah is possibly all right. Do you guys think Sarah is possibly Elgin I think it shouldn't be there. Are being offered things like the OG town folks or by the entities, and that they will eventually be turned into monsters because of it. I don't know if they made a wish. I think those guys all made a wish, and they wished for that, and that's what they got. I don't know if Sarah actually made that wish or if Elgin actually made that wish. So that's why I would say no. What do you think, Phil?
No, I just think they're marks. I don't think that they're even going to need that. I don't think they've even needed that much. I think the thing with the people in the past was that was the price that they needed to give their kids was like, okay, what will you do to give me your kids? Oh, and again, I'm making this stuff up, but will you live forever? If you live forever, will you give me your kids? And that was like the situation with these two. They're falling for much less. So I think it's just taken a couple of, like, we can get you guys out of here, or like, and that's what Sarah ultimately says later in the episode to Elgin. Like, we're the type of people, and Tony just said it too. We're the type of people that this place preys on, the innocent folk.
100%. People behind the colors, you guys should do a live with Beyond Premiere discussing theories. All right, and maybe we'll see. Anything's possible. Fernandez T says, "Yo, gents, that scene with Smiley being born was that the field? We did that one. All right, so we're caught up.
Okay, so our next scene is just Henry and comes to Victor, and these scenes were really emotional.
We missed one right here. Was Chris? He said Elgin is now going to be Aemon Targaryen, villain arc.
Well, in some parts of that.
Well, yes, and he could put the jewel in his eye. He could be walking around there with a stone in his eye. That would be great. And we're going into that in a second. Then Luna has a super chat. So Father Country says predestination. Boy says we control all destiny, but this is Fromville. That comes into, if you really have free will, you'd have to go into the free will concept of that. Do people have free will? Is everything that you do predestined already? Like if I'm sitting here with Phil, like was that going to happen no matter what? And if I don't come on, was that going to happen no matter what? Did I have free will to make that decision, or was that decision already made for me? So I think that's something that scientists debate to this day, whether people really have free will or not, or if everything is already predestined. I think maybe they're just touching on those subjects here with the show.
And so I'm Elgin, the one-eyed Raven Crow. I like that William Waddy. So yeah, Henry comes to Victor and they talk about Jasper's just stupid and plastic. I don't like dolls. You were right, Dad. And Henry's like, listen, I'm sorry, but I've had a couple drinks and I've had a little more, and I'm finally getting my head around this shit. Now I want to be your dad. And right as he's about to say, I want to be your dad, Victor's like, but no, you're going to hate me. You're going to follow me. You're going to hate me. And they head off. And we'll talk more about them in a second as we get into more. No, I want to talk about this now. I'm in Victor mode. They keep bringing up in the next scene. He shows them the graves, yada, yada. And then we'll yada when we get to it. They look at the two graves and they have a very emotional scene where Victor basically is crying like, you're not gonna like me anymore. I'm the cause of Mom's death. And Henry's just like, shut up, I'm your father and I love you.
You don't have to be my dad. And God damn it, don't say that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene between the two of them. That was a great Henry right there, Tony.
That's how he acted that place. He's like, you don't have to be my dad. God damn it, don't say that. And it's grabbed him.
And then Victor's look in his face like, this is what love means. But the thing that was interesting about that, again, Tony, if Eloise isn't alive, they're certainly making sure they leave a lot of fucking strings for us to think that maybe she is, right? Like this was another.
I think Eloise is Sarah. She's dead. But if they have put it on there that she's definitely alive. That I can't see them saying this is Eloise. Well, what I think was left of her.
Right.
That was saying that you have left the door wide open, saying he don't know if this was Eloise. He just seen scraps of somebody. He just grabbed up them scraps and put them in a basket and brought them up to the hill.
Yeah.
And just assumed that it was Eloise. You know what I mean? Because he could have easily seen her clothes, her shirts. We've seen these monsters kill. They just rip open the chest. We've seen little girls get killed before in this show. They just rip open the clothes. They don't take the clothes off the body and everything else. So he should be clear that was Eloise from what we have seen of these monsters killing in the way they have killed. Now all of a sudden it's a pack of wild dogs out there just chewing stuff up, and you would still think that some articles of clothing would be left, that he would have proof that that was his sister.
Yeah.
So I think that without a shadow of a doubt, Eloise will be in it next year.
And I also think that again, this is one of those I shouldn't be looking at things like this, but from a television standpoint, if she really was dead and they wanted to kind of put that to rest, like they put a lot of things to rest, like tonight with making sure we know who Miranda and Tabitha, bang, bang, who threw the rope, who was on the phone. They kind of answered a lot of like concrete things like that in that situation. In that moment, if they wanted to just put the Eloise thing to bed, he would, when Henry goes, "Is that Eloise's grave too?" All he would have had to say is yes.
Yep.
Yes. And it's done. We know that's Eloise. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Instead, they wanted to leave that open for a reason. That's left open for a reason, and that's because Eloise is live. She's the person at the cabins. I mean,
and they say, he said Eloise was a great hider. So they brought that up this season too, how she's the best hide and seek player there was.
She's hiding in the damn cabins.
Yeah, she's out there. She may have been Eloise may have dragged the damn tent.
Possibly.
It could have been Eloise dragging that goddamn tent. It could have been her.
Maybe Eloise is turning into a spider, dragging the tent, riding the yellow man spider. Anyways, our next scene is Boyd heads into the shed to get the tools and for torture scenes. And Ghost Cautry shows up. Now, in honor of Wicket, is he a good witch or is he a bad witch? Now, what the fuck? I asked this earlier to Toady, and we keep talking around this. What the fuck is Ghost Cautry? Is Ghost Cautry the boy in white? Is Ghost Cautry actually the spirit energy of Father Cautry that's still there talking to Boyd? Like, what's your take on it? Like, who do you think this thing is?
It would be funny if Eloise was really like Tarzan and she was really ravaging, eating shit like that out there, and that was real. But
spoiler alert, they did something like that in Lost with one of the characters where they turned her into
really?
rabid. The pregnant.
All right, then it's possible that could happen. All right, Father Cautry, the fourth dimensional being, coming to Boyd in the form that he's most comfortable with. Same thing with Jade and stuff, and that's who it is. Now, who this fourth dimensional being is, I can't tell you. I don't know, but that's what it is. It's a fourth dimensional being coming there trying to talk sense into Boyd, and same thing with Jade and everything else. That's how they do it. Again, I look at things when I look at shows. And I break things down from shows. It's not just from my knowledge of this show. It's a knowledge of all the shows I've watched in the past.
Yeah.
And there's certain tropes and certain things that they do in certain shows that carry on from the show to show. And I think that this is one of the things that carry on. So I think that's what it is.
And this is a really good scene, and it goes back and forth. I don't necessarily have to break down everything they say to each other, but basically he calls Boyd up on his hypocrisy, and this is something that's true. For Fatima, he's making excuses. Fatima literally stabbed somebody, like straight up stabbed somebody. Yes, she was sort of overwhelmed by something, but with Elgin, it's like, don't want to hear the story. If it's Boyd's family, he's got a different sort of rule in the sense of like who he would torture and what he would do in this situation. So Cautry's sort of being like, yeah, like, look what you're doing in this situation. No one knows what really happens, and kind of just calls him out on his shit in every situation. And Boyd's just like, fuck you. You had to die and running in the street and get your throat cut out.
Yeah. If Cautry's 100% right in everything he says, and Boyd had to give him the Brooklyn. He had to give him that straight New York. He was like, you were supposed to be here. You were supposed to be here, but you went out there and got your throat slit. You don't get to judge me.
Yeah, totally. Like, fuck you. Like, and Cautry just looks at him like,
that's straight New York talk right there. That's
he gives him that look like, I can't say anything, but I'm right. Like, he gives the look like, I'm right. I know what that is.
That's what you're supposed to do. You were supposed to be here. You know, we're supposed to figure this out together. That's that New York talk. That's
and then he comes back and says, listen, you got to decide who you want to be. If you do what you're going to do right now, this place won. And like, what's inside. And the other great line, and thank you for the super chat on my channel right there. This place won, and Boyd's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm in a Kobayashi fucking Maru in this situation. And I love this line where he says, that's why it's called a rock and a hard place, not a rock and a soft, comfy pillow. And Boyd's just like,
which was an episode earlier from a different channel, from a different episode season, was Rock and a Hard Place.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's awesome. That's a good callback to the episode title. Decide who you are now, because the decisions you make now is who you're going to be from now on. And before we get to our next scene, and Boyd takes the tools and goes. Let's get to a couple of our super chats. We got let's see. First of all, we got a new member for 9 months. Thank you, Larry. Elgin, no one gets hurt this time. Tilly, thanks. Thank you. Then we got Joe. I think this is from my channel. Thanks, Joe. It would be less frustrating if the Victor character was written better. He's the one with the most info, but nobody asks him. Even if they did, he can't communicate or remember. He's pretty useless. Maybe his dad being around will help Victor be a better communicator in seasons moving forward.
I think Victor's storyline is done. I think the communicating, him remembering stuff, I think that's all over. I think what we got this season was all the memories he's having and all the memories he had to have. He got us where we had to know and everything else. I think all that's done. I think Victor has to have a brand new storyline starting right now next season. They got to figure something out with Victor, but I don't think there's any more memories he can give.
Finding out Eloise is alive, and I think that's where it's to go. We got New Slave City says, I knew Smiley was the baby. I think Boyd is also Martin. I think Boyd is also Martin. We've also known Ray says no boundaries. Tabitha's Mexican, Eloise right. Blah, 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 blah. Boyd is Martin, Tony.
All right, Tabitha's Mexican, Eloise is right. So you want to go through that situation like that, and Boyd is all right. I understand what you're saying there. You know what I mean? But I don't think Boyd is Martin. If Martin is going to be so, again, the only clue we have to who Martin is if he's somebody else other than Martin. And again, when we've seen those people that were inside of that ruin, every time we've seen somebody in that ruin that wasn't Boyd, their real body was somewhere else, right? They were all somewhere else, and that was a dream version of them or whatever, their spirit being stuck there. So it was their regular body that was there. So I assume that Martin is Martin, but he did say Julie, like he had seen her before.
Yeah, like he had a relationship with her before.
Yeah, he did say Julie. You know what I mean? He did give that. So if I wouldn't say it's Boyd, it's Martin. I wouldn't say Boyd is Martin. I would say, if you wanted to say Randall, or you wanted to say Ethan, or you wanted to say something like that, or Jim, or anyone else, then I could see that, but I can't see it being Boyd.
And okay, so Boyd heads off with the tools. We get back to Fatima, who is banging to get out, kicking cans, which is a funny take. Her just walking in there and she kicks a can, smashing blood. She's done. She picks up a piece of sharp glass that's from something she broke, from a mirror or whatever she broke, and she's gonna try to kill the baby. And Tabitha, then we go back to Tabitha. Tabitha explains what Victor said about the bottle tree and the kids, the root of the tree, and off to Jade and Jim and Tabitha to head out to the woods. Oh, yes. And the Venn diagram of the children is the mix. Oh, yeah. And they're talking about how the children is the thing that connects them all. All their visions and all their shit is connected by the children. Jade's like the creepy children and the magic tree symbol. And he talks about, and we get a quick little flashback of
that truly true. I mean, it's the one thing that they both saw.
Yes.
But it's not like it's Jade only saw it once. It wasn't like they constantly coming to Jade and everything else. You know what I mean? And everything. No. They never explain whatever that Tetris board was that they had there. That Jenga.
The Jenga thing. Yeah, the Jenga.
Yeah, they never really explained what the Jenga board was.
And basically this.
And we'll get to our super chats in a second. I promise.
Yeah, basically this scene just ends with Jade being like, if you guys are just gonna say fucking Anakui, like fuck you, and we're gonna sit here until you say something else. And let's just go quickly through this one, and we'll get to the super chats before we continue. So then we get into our Randall doing Randall things, pull-ups and hearing cicadas. You know, the Randall life, living Randall life, pull-ups and cicadas. And Chrissy and Marielle, who really, if we're talking about characters that took back seats this season, I think Chrissy was not as front and center as she was in the first two seasons.
Yeah, and they definitely gave her a back seat in this one.
This was like, and even in this episode, I get that they moved their story along, but we really didn't get any progression on the three of their stories. We just know that we kind of do, I guess, where Julie traveled in time, but this will put them together at the beginning of next season. But Chrissy, they're interrupted by Randall, who's asking about equipment, and he goes downstairs to get the defibrillator, and he's going to give himself a Pikachu shot to the brain, some ECT treatment. And Marielle tackles him and says, "No!" He's like, "I just want to make it stop." And it's a good scene between the two of them.
It is. It's a good scene between them. Again, he didn't have a lot going on. I mean, he did. He got sliced open and stuff, and I guess that was his thing and everything else. But again, I think all that's going to end now. That Smile Months is back. I think that ends that.
Jackie C, to your point, Anakui is not a real word. I believe I heard them say that they just made that word up because honestly, if you pick something that was something, it would be too easy to date it back to what the meaning was. So I believe the writers just made up a word that sounded like something else. Yeah. You had people looking up like Greek history and all this stuff, and like it's just gibberish that one of the writers made up.
That makes me laugh so hard because these people. And listen, I'm a theory crafter, and I try to give y'all advice. No one take it. They came up with this is the Roman Empire king's son's first name. It was christened this word with all these elaborate
God
things.
bless them. Like
and it was absolutely shit. It was just a word they made up, like a word that don't be nothing, like Luke did. That's it. You know what I mean? And that's they Humpty Humped it. And that's just the way they did it. You know what I mean? I still ain't going to do what you like. And if you missed it, I'm the one who said, just grab them in the biscuit. They Humpty Humped you. And that's it. They gave you a word that don't mean nothing. And everyone came up with all of these elaborate. Oh, it's a Roman deity's first name from the fairies of the Norse mythology and the god. No. It was something they just made up, and I tell people.
Think Story says those assholes have wasted hours of my life researching.
And I tell people all the fucking time, bro. Keep it simple, man. Just keep it simple. I don't know how I gotta keep saying. Tell people keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
You said that the nice way. That saying is said a little differently, Tony, in a much meaner way. But you said that the nice way. Keep it simple, stupid. But I'm not calling you guys stupid.
No, let's keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
So you gotta do. Anakui is a word that was derived by the Roman Empire when they crossed the bridge in the river, and Hannibal came in there, and all this.
It was Sanskrit. It was Sanskrit written by Magellan in the 5th century.
It was ancient Hebrew text. If you look at the Hebrew text and you turn it upside down, you can see that it said Anakui, and this means
if you take the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper and you play it backwards, John clearly says Anakui during the during the reprise of Sgt. Pepper's.
That's right. That is right. Glue Guns and Roses. Keep it simple. Aliens. It done. Simple. Oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you write. When you do simple things like that and all that good stuff.
So anyways, let's continue with. Oh no, let's catch up with a couple of super chats while we're paused here and stuff like that. Let's see what do we got. This is from Larry. Was every character who had a seizure also time traveling, but they thought they were dreaming? Ethan and Sarah in season 1. I don't think so, Tony. I think so far we've only seen Julie deal with any form of time travel.
Yeah, well, Ethan did say when he woke up that he was in the cavern of the Lonely Dragon. Right? He goes, Dad, I was by the Lake of Tears, and I was in the cavern of the Lonely Dragon. So it's possible that he was in Victor's room, because they showed Victor's room at that time, that somehow he was in Victor's room when Victor was doing something.
Maybe
they may do a flashback to that if Ethan was doing that.
And maybe you traveled in time when he went in the bathroom last week or something like that too.
Yeah, it could. Maybe something like that happened in there. So
let's not forget.
I that going there.
Let's not forget what they said to Victor. They will make him stay in the caves. Maybe Victor's a monster. I don't know why they tell him that. That good point. That might be a continuation of Victor's story, connected more with what they meant when they were like, Victor, next time we'll make you stay. That kind of vibe. That could be something cool. Where
and specifically they said if you keep coming down here, so he's been down there multiple times.
And Larry asks again, if Fetus Smiley craving blood confirms that the monsters do eat the human/organs, still not sure if they're playing with their food or just killing. I'm not sure if it proves that they eat that, or I mean, I guess maybe it does because the pod has to feed off of human blood to grow. Tony, is that?
I mean, the pod does have to feed off human blood to grow, but doesn't mean they're actually eating them, because we've seen nothing of them eating. You would think that by this season they would have showed at least one time them bite it. Only time we've seen them have human flesh in their mouth was the Jasmine monster, and she spit it right out.
Yeah.
So I would think that they would at least showed it once of them eating or chewing something. All we know is that the organs are gone. It's always the same style. So we have no idea if they're eating them or just harvesting them. So I can't really say that they're definitely eating them. I don't think they're eating them. And their insides are all dried up like it's all dried up on the inside like they've been mummified, is what
mummified
actors who play Christy said. They're mummified, and they do have bile, and bile is used to digest food. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Something to Ethan losing his memories like Victor. I'm not sure what that was referencing, Rebel Eric, but I'm just putting it up on screen because thank you for the super chat. We're past the point of what that was wrestling. Larry also says, I thought Boyd said the N-word, but I rewound it. He said, here you are, you're supposed to be alive. Let's scroll back up here. What else we got? We got Larry again.
Boyd said the N-word. He almost did, I think. He might have made it came close. That would have been funny. They should have had him say it.
No one gets hurt this time. I'll tell you, I think we're catched up on super chats now. Okay, awesome. And I think we just missed Luna's at the bottom here. I thought I saw Luna throw another one in there, but oh no, there it is. And it's just a thank you so much, Luna. Very much appreciate the support. Okay, so Boyd gets ready. Boyd comes into Colony House with his tools. They're all like, what the fuck are you gonna do? And no one comes upstairs. He's like, no one come upstairs. Donna makes sure, because he knows that he can't trust Kenny and Ellis to be the ones to stop people from coming up. And that, as we see in the future, when Danny Acosta shows back up, Ellis and Kenny aren't any help. They just play the Matador defense, where they're just like, go to the hoop, go ahead, go upstairs, Acosta. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So Kenny's there, and he says, Kenny's at the top of the stairs, and he's like, let's talk. He's a really good kid. Let's talk to him one more time. Maybe he'll get it. And Boyd's like, dude, just go downstairs, Kenny. We're running out of time. So Boyd gets in the room, and he doesn't torture him right away. He kind of does he's trying to psych himself up to be able to do it. Like he throws down on the table to sort of like psych himself up. Elgin says, I can't tell you. I wish I could, but I can't. And Boyd says, you do what you do. I'll do what I do. And he tries intimidating him at first, like dropping the bag of tools on the ground, unpacking the bags. And Elgin's he's not buying this shit. I don't think he actually thinks Boyd's going to hurt him at this point. And Boyd, someone asked about this earlier. The camera takes a picture and prints out a picture, and Boyd looks at it, and it's a house. Someone asked, why did they do the house? That is them fucking with Boyd. That is simply them fucking with Boyd, like saying, like, we see you. We don't care what you're doing. You still aren't going to have enough time to stop what we're doing. I think it's just how about you, Tony? I just think it's a fuck you to Boyd.
Yeah, and maybe they're trying to slow him down. Like, wait, we'll send you a picture of your house. That means you can go home if you want to go home, if you just allow this to keep going down. You know what I mean? But Boyd's smart enough to know that that picture must be from Google Earth, because it was before we had the boat there, and the boat should be in that picture. So that just was a straight Google Earth shot that they put through there and everything else.
Newslip said Acosta definitely doesn't need to take a shower. She's probably pretty smelly at that point. And yes, someone asked.
I take care of that for her.
Someone says, yeah, we'll be turned on the phone lines very soon.
Phone lines will be on in a little bit, and then y'all be able to call in a little bit.
Elgin says, I can't tell you. And Boyd picks up the picture, and we cut off there. We already talked about this scene. This is Victor and Henry. We see the rocks. We see the graves. I told Mom. Led her to these things. She got killed. It's my fault. Kid logic. And Tony, he's like, Dad, you're not gonna love me. I'm getting out of here, Dad. I don't like it. And he says, you said it. What did Henry say to him? Something like, God
damn it, don't say that to me.
Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad, I love
Not
you.
to say that to me. You can't say that. And then he had struggle getting up there. The actor, he had to hold on to Victor to pull himself up there.
Yeah, he totally did. And I love the look on Victor's face at the end of it all. It's the Forrest Gump. I might not be a smart man, but I know what love is, Jenny. And it's like a total that kind of moment. Very emotional. I got a little teary-eyed. So we get back to Jim, Tab, and Jade getting ready for their little threesome in the back of Victor's truck. They're trying to talk the numbers and the bottles. And Jade is in full like egocentric Jade mode. Jim is like, maybe the numbers are nothing. We could be chasing a delusion. And Tabitha's like, no, there's something. No. Tabitha says her favorite line. No. The numbers are something. Miranda did this for a reason. And Jade's like, yes, Tabitha's correct. Thank you, Jade. I know I'm correct. It's okay, Tabitha. I love you. I love you too, Jade. And then Jade says, I've tried everything. I've tried every algorithm, every eggs in a carton, cue balls, Fibonacci scale, the east bumfuck side of the lithium. I've tried everything. And Jim just casually says, well, pulls out he's been watching Tony Teflon videos, and Jim's like, I was watching Tony Teflon's video, and the 12 notes are in the scale. How about that? And the music's like a universal language, like he's quoting Tony. And Jade runs and kisses him for the first time in a season and a half, calls him teacups, and goes, teacups, you're genius. And go get the violin. I've been stealing it from Victor. He hit it. Which is just a passive line, Tony, but it's the funniest line in the episode.
Yeah, he keeps going and stealing the violin from Victor constantly.
It's just like a little side thing. Yeah, totally.
That's what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. Behind the scenes in Fromville, Jade's been stealing Victor's violin constantly.
Constantly. He's been taking it. And again, I got a lot of flack on the whole music thing. People said I was stupid. Go read the comment section. You don't know. Someone said, I'm an actual musician, and this is impossible to
What are backwards letters? I don't get it.
No way that this could. It sounded like Bill Cosby when they were talking. Like Bill Cosby would tell black people, you got to pull your pants up. You got to make sure you got to pull your pants up, black people. What you doing? I'm a musician here with Tony Teflon. You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to music. No.
I fucking told you.
With the bips and the bops and the boops and the bips and the bops. So we go up to. So it's a funny line though, and I just love that little passive line. So we go off to Marielle and Christy talking about Randall, and we already talked about the scene, but it's basically they gave Randall some drugs to put him to sleep. They probably gave him some Valium or some shit, and Marielle's like, I don't know what we do. And Christy says, listen, I've given you space. You're all fucked up about this. What's going on? She's like, yeah, I'm fucked up. All three of us are messed up. We're never going to be okay. And that's all that happens, Tony. Again, it's very sort of minimalistic Chrissy and Marielle's story this season, but we got a little of it, I guess.
We did. I just think that Kenny should have fronted like he had that buzzing in his head and moved in there first. Like Kenny dropped the ball on that one. If I was Kenny, I would have been the whole time like, I got this shit in my head. I got to take this shit. And I'm like, oh, Kenny, just move in with us. Please get in there. I'm like, Christy. And not even it. This dude got right up in the crib with those two chicks. Kenny over here moving the colony house and shit. Kenny dropped the ball on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I would have been up in that shit.
So I'm with you on that one, Tony. He doesn't know what he has. He's trying to do defibrillators to his fucking brain. What's up with this guy?
Yeah.
And moron. So Boyd and Elgin and
you know what that's gonna mean? It's gonna be like, Randall. They're gonna be like, Randall, after that incident you had, we just can't trust you sleeping alone. You're gonna have to sleep in here with us. All right. We just can't trust you. We don't want you to have an exercise. This sleep on the floor right here by the foot of the bed. And Randall's gonna be like, if you say so.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay. I'll sleep on the foot of the bed.
That was the whole reason why he did it, goddammit. That was Randall's scheme, I'm telling you.
And Kenny loses again.
Kenny loses again.
Let's go. You know what makes people talk? Fire. Even a small lighter could make someone talk. Screwdriver to the eye, not needed. Well, Sarah wanted to have a little fun. We don't want to don't discredit Sarah having her fun. CD Beat J says, you think Jade playing that song causes the monster? We're going to talk about that, CD, because I do. I think that playing that song had multiple effects. I think the way we'll get into it more later, but I think the Man in Yellow tipped his hand that the song had something to do with his showing up as well, or definitely didn't just cause the Anakui kids. They made too much of a deal of, I think Jim was, even a broken clock is right twice a day, what they say. Like, I think Jim was right in the sense, like, we shouldn't just be playing this tune willy-nilly. Like, this, we don't know. Like, they're like, the music box caused 3 people to go insane. That was the first time I agreed with Jim. We'll get to it a little bit later, but that was one of the first times, Tony, I was like, Jim's, you're starting to make some sense. Like, Jim's starting to make a little bit of sense in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, the guy we just seen that, he's more than just an amusement park creator, ride creator.
He's more than teacups, Tony. He's more than just teacups.
He's more than just making them teacups, more than that. And everything, without a shadow of a doubt.
So we're okay. Boyd and Elgin. So Elgin's asking, what is in the picture? Like, what's in the picture? What's the picture? Boyd's like, oh, that's what you want to know. I love Boyd in this scene. Again, he's so pissed off. But angry Harold is one of the best versions of Harold. He's just like, what? Fuck you. He plays angry. So
yeah, angry Harold is like, it's like Robert De Niro or Joe Pesci doing Joe Pesci, you know what I mean? And Robert De Niro doing Robert De Niro, like that. That's classic Harold, is that angry version, that Brooklyn style of him and everything else, where he's so mad he wants to say something, but it doesn't all come out in one sentence and stuff and everything else, and he has to pause and stuff. That's the best version of him, and I think, listen, he should be nominated this season. Without a doubt, we're going through the Emmy nomination. He deserves a nomination for this season. Listen, in the end, if Colin Farrell is going to get it, we know that from the Penguin. I just think that performance is unbeatable this year. But he definitely deserves to be nominated.
Colin deserves it as well. But if anyone must get an award from that show, it's Christine Milioti. Like, I think they both deserve it, but I think they both deserve recognition. She deserves it just as much as he does. They both fucking killed it. Great season.
I'm not gonna go against your boo thing.
yeah. She's my version of Acosta for you.
Yes,
like she's like my like oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, so boy, now I'm thinking of the eyes. Okay, so Boyd and Elgin is like, what's in the picture? He's like, what's in the box? What's in the picture? And he goes, listen, this fucking place is always fucking with us. Like, it was my house where I was going to with my wife before I ended up in this fucking place. The only thing I'm surprised that wasn't there is my boat with my other son Walt in it, screaming, Dad. and Elgin is like, see what this means? See what this means? It means we're all going home.
Number one thing I have to complain about this scene is this. Elgin seemed like a big motherfucker. He don't seem like he's a small dude. How are you going to just sit there and allow this one man to tie you up? Like, you're going to have to kick my ass before you tie me up. Like, I'm not just going to sit in a chair and allow you just to tie me up. You have to have somebody else holding me at gunpoint while you tie me up. There's no way I'm just going to sit there and just allow you to just start tying me up and just be sitting there like, oh, what are you doing? I'm tying you up, motherfucker. Oh, okay. Nah, motherfucker. No. You got to kick my ass. If kick my ass or hold the gun on me and make me sit there, can he hold the gun? If not, I ain't just sitting there just letting someone tie me up. That shit ain't happening. So I didn't feel that for that.
No, I'm with you. I mean, they have established that Elgin's not much of a fighter, but I agree. Like, physically speaking, like seeing the two of them together, like Elgin is much bigger, or the actor is much bigger than the actor. Like, he's much bigger than Harold. So it is interesting. Like, even him sitting in that chair, you're like, he could just get up right now, and if he just goes rawr, Harold's not doing shit. Like
I would like, Harold, put your hand on the table. No, what do you mean? I would have rocked that motherfucker, fell on the floor. Like, you would have had to pick me back up. Like, I would have been all over the place. Like, you ain't getting me. I would have rocked this chair. I would have been like, no, motherfucker, no. I would have fell. The chair would have been blocking me. Listen, my dad used to kick my ass when I was younger. I'm from that generation when you got a beating with a belt and all that shit. I didn't make it easy. I was a child, and my dad was 6'6", And I didn't make it easy for him to do that to me as a child. I was running, I was jumping, I was hiding underneath the bed. I put books in my ass and shit. I was all over the place. And he was much bigger. I was a child, and he was 6'6", you know what I mean? He had a hard time getting me down. So I don't believe that that should have happened like that. Elgin should have did something. Goddamn, he should have did something going on here.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess we have established that he's not really that, and Boyd attitude is half of it, and Boyd kind of just controls the situation. Elgin's like, you don't have to do this, you don't have to hurt me. Put his hand up. Put his hand, as Tony was saying, and he slams. It's fucking hammer time. It's he can't touch that. Elgin won't be able to touch anything anymore, and it's hammer time. I know. Sorry, that was horrible. If I could play the bad drum sound effect, I would play it right there. And I love you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wait. Okay, say Ghost Cautry kind of shows up there again, and Elgin and watches this whole situation. And as Boyd is doing this, Danny Targaryen Acosta comes in downstairs and is like, what's going on? And hears the screaming and runs upstairs. I mentioned this when you stepped away for a second, Tony, but like, Boyd had told Donna to stop anyone from coming upstairs because he knew that Ellis and Kenny can't stop shit. Ellis and Kenny like literally played matador defense. You know, like you're playing ball, like you're just someone just like lets the guy go to the hoop. That's the kind of defense they played on Danny Targaryen and Acosta. They just kind of sat there and were like, bye.
They let Daenerys run right up them damn steps. And this shows me how small of a guy, because I'm figuring that she's pretty small for a woman, and Kenny and her seem like the same height, so they're not that big of guys. Even so, this chick ain't getting by you. I mean, if you've ever played the game Red Rover when you were little, you know what I mean. There's no way she would be breaking the line, right? She could run as fast as she wants. She's not breaking the line. She wouldn't have got past. These guys never played football before in their life or something, because she just went right up those steps like nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nothing. They were just like, they were like stoppers. You know, she knows Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. Like she was
stop her. Stop! Don't go up there.
No. Yeah, it was like Gene Wilder and Willie. No, stop! Don't, please. You know, like they were just like, don't stop, please. They're just ran upstairs. It's whatever. So he hits his hand, and Danny Targaryen. Everyone runs. Acosta comes in, runs up, is like, what's going on? She's like, what the fuck are you doing? Boyd's like, get out. It just gets all intense. Kenny tries to kind of get her away for a second, and she's like, fuck you, Kenny, get off me. And Boyd's like, everyone downstairs. So we go off to Tabitha and Jade, figuring out the musical notes, humming things out, writing things together, figuring out chords and melodies and stuff. And Jade, once they kind of put things together, Jade already knows the song. We kind of talked about the scene a little bit before.
Yeah,
but
let me highlight Glue Guns N' Roses. Very good super chat. Thank you. Very gracious super chat. Says, are y'all going to congratulate me and mention my correct theory? The one about Jade playing sweet love songs to Tabitha on the violin. I was the only wrong about it being a sweet love song, and I called it being genuine. 100% you did. I did not think Jade would play the violin. In my theory, I thought that Tabitha would have the memories of Miranda, and she all of a sudden just know how to play it because Miranda played the violin. I was wrong about that. You were right about that. So for everybody in the chat that doubted Glue Guns N' Roses, this is what she had to say to you.
I fucking told you. I fucking told you.
And she fucking told us too. So 100% give her so I have that.
There you go, Glues. Okay, so Jim comes in here with the violin, and Tabitha's like, shut up. One thing I want to point out in this scene, they made it a point to show Tabitha a couple times as Jade was putting this together with the music, get this look on her face like a 12-year-old at a candy store. Like so enamored by Jade putting the song together and stuff. I just thought it was like, I felt so bad for Jim in that moment, because it was right as Jim was coming in. You see Tabitha like literally, we're not making it up, swooning for Jade in that moment. Like Jade's sitting next to her like, hey baby, we got to figure out these songs.
Now, Phil, you've been to studios. I've been in studios. We both done music, and I'm sure you've had women in studios. I've seen that look. You know what I mean? When you're in the booth and you're doing your stuff, and the chick is just sitting there like, I'm with him. Oh my God, I'm with him. You know, that is 100% the look that she was giving him. 100%. He was in the booth with that dude right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, totally. Like he just recorded like a hit song, and absolutely, she was loving it. And Jim comes in. I got the violin. Shh. She just goes,
Yeah,
shut
she's
up,
like,
Jim.
Jim, who told you to show up, Jim?
Yeah, zip it. She totally zips him, and then Jim kind of brings it up. He goes, "You just remembered this song. You decided to put it together, and you magically remembered the song. That's fucked up. Like, you know, we just dealt with a music box evil situation. Our daughter was in a fucked up thing. Like, do we really want to play haunted songs that you magically remember?" And and Jade is like, "You broke the code. I can't play this song. I'm gonna play this song." And then they kind of agree to go out of town because, as Jade says, maybe the blast radius of the song isn't too far. So they go to the tree where all this stuff started. And okay, so Fatima's about to stab herself in the belly, and this is where things start to amp up. And this is the sort of the end run of the episode. And Tony, I like how they did this. They sort of cut back and forth the lead up of this part, but then starting at this point, they almost edit everything together into one giant sort of interactive scene, which I think kind of really built the energy of the episode all to this whole little section right here. So Fatima's going to stab herself in the belly and cut herself. Kimono's like, shh, stop it. And her water breaks and it's coming. Ethan and Julie are in the diner. He asks her about Kenny's mom and says something about forgetting Tom, doesn't want to forget Thomas. And Julie's like, oh, dude. She tells him about what happened in the ruins. And basically he says, you're a story walker and you can visit parts of the story, but you can't change things. We talked about this earlier, Tony. Do you think Ethan's right here? Do you think
No, he's wrong. We've seen it already happen. So Ethan's wrong, and we've seen her drop the rope, and that changed the story right there. Yeah, so we know that that's not the case.
So our next scene is Ana Lucia Acosta is yet and Boyd are having what I expect to be something that we see a lot more of in season 4. The two of them just bickering, and they're like, it doesn't even. I don't. Like they have some good lines back and forth, but it's not worth.
She's taking over the policing. Boyd's out.
100%.
She's getting the badge, and Kenny's going to be her deputy. It's done.
And through that all, she's like, "What if I tell everybody? Whatever." But through all that, the most hilarious part of that whole situation, and he is Sarah is in the back watching this like this, stink eye in the back, like, and she just was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Just walks upstairs. And walks in the room. Elgin seems happy to see her at first, like, "Oh my God, you're here. Help me, Sarah. Help me, Sarah." And she's like, and she just gives him like the coldest speech this side of Sam Jackson from Pulp Fiction. She's just like, "I remember when I was here when I was younger. I was innocent too. And I don't want Boyd to lose his soul. I already lost my soul." And then you just cut back down to Acosta threatening to rat on Boyd, and you just hear screaming, like as Boyd screams, "This isn't Camden, Maine." And you just hear screaming, and everyone runs upstairs as Boyd again is doing that thing you were talking about where he's just like mumbling word like, "Oh, Sarah? Sarah?" And they walk in, and Elgin's fucking eye is hanging out like a yo-yo out of his fucking eye, dude.
Yeah, they pulled. She dropped that dude's eye. Looked like yolk hanging out of his eye. And Elgin's just sitting there. He's leaned back a little. I gotta lean back a little. He's leaned back a little.
Dude, yeah. Twitching and shit. And Sarah
so hard shit.
she's in the cellar. And then she just drops the microphone, walks the fuck out. Sarah, fatality. Dude was looking like a Mortal Kombat victim, Tony. Like a Mortal Kombat fatality. Like it's fucking great. So fatality, Sarah.
But he was alive. It did seem like he was alive. He was breathing and stuff. So I still think he's alive. I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, he was twitching. He was twitching away. He was Elgin looked like the faces from The Ring, says Chris. I think she gave Elgin a lobotomy. I'm not sure of that. We'll have to see what this ends up happening for Elgin, but in that moment, she was she really fucked his ass up and quick. So we go off to the woods by the tree, and Jade's got the violin. And he goes, "Here we go."
You know, the funny thing too was, his boy was shocked like it happened. Like Sarah,
like Sarah,
like Sarah, like The fuck you? Why would you be shocked? What you know when she's done? You know this chick gets down. You know, and when she's, I mean, she had her little sweater on and stuff. They tried to make her look so innocent before they walked. Like they dressed her as innocent as they could dress her, almost like a Quaker. They dressed her up as, you know, with the sweater and the long skirt and everything else and all that. And then she's just standing there. She's in the root cellar.
And she just, and then microphone drop of the fucking screwdriver, bam, just walks out there, and then Sarah fatality. Yeah, she's walking out the door. It was perfect, fucking perfect. And Sarah, my girl, can't knock her for having a hobby of potting up people. No, you can't. You can't. Especially when you're that good at it. You can't, you know, Sarah has a particular set of skills, Tony, and
yeah.
And Boyd's taking advantage of it in that moment. But I just like how I love how she just, the process of that scene, like the two of them, that was just classic television with the two of them bickering and Sarah just watching it all from afar and being like, yeah, fuck this.
Right, let's get this done.
Yeah. Before we continue on to the end of our episode here, because we're right at the end, but let's take this big super chat. Thank you so much, Darren, for this amazing super chat. I could probably take a little torture from Boyd, but if Sarah just looks at me with that screwdriver in her hand, I'm going to start spilling the beans. I'd say she's in the root cellar. That I'd tell her I tell her I buried Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah, I agree. Sarah's
there's no doubt. The hand smash is one thing and it hurts and everything else and all that, you know. But you can survive that. People have survived worse than that. Pulling someone's eye, that once you see that screwdriver hit your eye, you're giving it up. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. What are you giving it up? You're giving it up. It's over. It's done. And you know she's willing to do it. You know, that's the bottom. It's like, you know, like Boyd, you could see it was paining him. He's just looking away before he did. Like he didn't want to do it. But you know, like there's no paining her. There's no emotion in her face. She doesn't regret doing it. She's not saying anything. She's just getting it done.
Yeah, she Jack Bauer, straight up Jack Bauer just went, you will tell me what I want to know right the fuck now. I'm not fucking around. And it worked. So, and they were just shocked. And as Tony was saying, Boyd's like, Sarah. Great moment. So we go off to the woods by the tree. Jade's with the violin out. He goes, I'm going to do it or forever hold your peace. Start playing the song, looking around. We cut to the crew running to the cellar. Also Fatima giving birth with a kimono lady, taking the pod out. Jade keeps playing off to Fatima, screaming, kimono birthing it. It's a pod looking thing. Boyd and Ellis are moving the closet. They're in there. They find her. She's okay, but she says that thing took the baby or whatever it was down the hatch. Boyd looks down there. He tells Kenny and Ellis to get her back to Colony House. I need to go down there. I can't be blindsided again. Take care of your wife. I got to head down there. Do you blame him for heading down there, Tony? Did he head down there just because we needed eyes down there?
We needed eyes down there. We needed a point of view character down there. So they sent him down there. I thought in the end, me personally, it was a little uneventful. I thought they could have did it better somehow. You know, I understand what they were doing, but it didn't seem like, now we know that they usually pick up right after they left off. So if they show Boyd escaping and they're chasing him or something like that, like I would have had it like, you know, like they drag Fatima down there or something, and, you know, something happens to her and they eat her after he's born. They all just jump and kill Fatima down there. And then he witnesses that go down and everything else. And now he witnessed Mrs. Lou die and Fatima die. But obviously they did not want to kill that character off. I just think the birth of Smiley, it was disgusting in itself. No one wanted to see Smiley's ass. This is not a Diddy party. It seemed like it was turning into that there. Boyd needs to escape as quick as possible. Yeah, especially and stuff before that stuff jumps off. But it seems like that's the route they were going. But to me, I think they could have just They had a chance to kill somebody else down there. I would have killed somebody.
Instead, Boyd looks like he's like the invisible guy in the background. No one can see him. So she's like, okay. And we go to Fatima. So we keep hearing the music flashing back to Jade, Jim, and Tabitha. Then here comes the Anakui kids. Tabitha says they're here. Jim is like, where? Jade sees them and Tabitha sees them, but Jim can't see them. She just goes, Jade, stop, shut up, keep playing. And we go after Boyd in the tunnels, following the path to the lit room. We see Ellis and Fatima and Kenny. And this is what we talked about earlier. And I want to stop in here for a few seconds too. She says, I saw what they are. They sacrificed their children because it promised them they would live forever. And Kenny's like, what? But we said this earlier, Tony, and I'll ask the question again, just to the chat or to everyone. How did she learn that information? Who told her? Did she see it? Did she receive it in a vision like Tabitha and Jade did? Did the baby tell her intravenously? Did Kimono Woman tell her stories at night to put her to bed? Like, how did she learn this information, Tony? And I hope we find it out.
They did not say exactly. We would have to think it was some type of vision, but she definitely had the information. But they did not say exactly how she got the information.
Yeah, it was a little exposition dump.
And it did seem like they weren't even going to give that information. Like the way they did it, it seemed like there was going to be a pause in it. And it could have, and then that was the end of it. I saw what they were, and they just cut it off right there. But they did follow through with it, which was good and everything else. You know what I mean? But they did not go into details exactly how she got the information. I think that they should have.
Yeah, and I hope they do. I hope this gets expounded on next season and there's some talking together. Kimono puts down the pod. All the monsters are around in a circle. Boyd comes in and watches from the back of the pod, and the pod grows and grows and grows. And Boyd is like, what the fuck? It's a monster rising up, and it's Smiley. And the effect was pretty good for the most part, except for when Smiley got to full size, and then it just looked like he was taking off a blanket. Like, yeah. I thought it looked really, really cool, like really cool, up until the point where he was standing up, and then it literally just looked like he was just like, he like threw off a blanket and was like,
yeah.
Hey,
they should have had him they should have had him poke his fingers through it and like rip his way out of it, you know, and show Tony, his fingers coming through it.
Have you ever seen Ace Ventura 2? Like when he's like breaking out of the back of, there's a part where he's like inside like some animal, like a fake animal body. He has to climb out the asshole of the body. Like it's Jim Carrey, like climbing out. I feel like it should have been something like that, but it was like almost like he just shed a blanket at the end there. At some point. And Boyd is like, what the fuck? And gets this look in his eyes like, Smiley.
Smiley's back. He was so pissed off with that motherfucker.
I just love it. Smiley. Holy shit, Luna. Before we end this episode, we got to end the episode. We got to take Luna's super chat right away.
Luna,
biggie one.
So much. God damn it. I never seen that color, that $50 color.
I know. Me neither. I definitely haven't seen that one on my channel ever. Tony and Phil, you provided hours of theories. Well, Tony provided hours and theories. I provide a lot of bullshit. But Tony provided. Okay, I'll go to the second one. Tony's theories and entertainment. I'm just the entertainment part of that. These past 3 seasons, you and Elamar as well. You, Familia, appreciate you so much. What's next? What's next is more from stuff. I'm going to Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. So if anyone's in Vegas, say hi. Email me.
Yeah, we'll be covering a bunch of shows. We'll definitely be covering the Apple TV show of Severance. We'll definitely be doing that. We'll be doing Dexter New Blood. We'll definitely be doing that because we did the Dexter season before. We have a new series that me and Phil are starting. We're going to talk about movies that you couldn't make today, that were made back in the day, and talk about scenes from movies that could not be made today, that were made back then, and how cringeworthy they are to look at now in this time. So we'll have all that stuff coming up and everything else. You know, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's very, very generous of you. Truly
and
generous.
We'll make sure to do lots of from content as well in the off season. And we also want to thank everyone that's been listening to the audio cast. We've been getting more and more views and more downloads and streams every week. We'll try to throw in a few in the off season as well. But for the most part, we'll be back with episodes during the season. But make sure you subscribe to Teflon TV and Phil the Issues Guy for stuff like that. But we'll be trying to upload stuff onto the podcast. And we want to ask you guys that are listening to our audio cast, the Escaping From podcast. Do you want to hear us talk about other shows on this podcast, or save it just for From stuff? Because we can put some of our other stuff on this, or start, different podcast streams for that too. And we hope you follow us there. But I'll be asking that question in the poll, whether you guys want to hear us. So please answer the poll question, or let us know if you want to hear that sort of stuff.
You got a super chat.
Oh my goodness, Saggy Star. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wanting to balance. I get the color too on my channel. Oh, that's so sweet.
That's perfect. That is perfect right there.
Thank
you, Saggy Star. We appreciate everything that you do.
We appreciate that, Saggy. I almost want. I'll get up and spin the wheel for you. Gotta give you a wheel spin for that.
Wheel for Saggy for that one. She deserves a wheel spin.
and for both of them, because that's for both those people deserve a wheel spin.
They deserve a wheel spin. We gotta give them both a wheel spin.
Before we get back into the recap here, let me get over to the wheel of thing. I gotta get to the wheel,
and we're gonna open up the phone lines in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, the phone lines.
We're basically at the end of the episode, but here we go. Let me.
Big bucks, big bucks, big bucks, big bucks, no whammy. Big bucks, big bucks.
You landed on everybody drink. So if wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you have a drink in your hand, toast it to Saggy Star and all of our other super chatters tonight. I gotta refill my drink, but we'll save it for that one. Thank you, Press Your Luck, for your music there. Okay, so Kimono Lady puts down the pod. Boyd's like, what the fuck? Smiley. One of the kids comes down and comes to Tabitha and sits down and says, Anna Kui. And both her and Jade are like, oh, and they're flashed with the memory with the gibberish word that means remember. Sorry, everybody. And Jade says it means remember. And the kids smile. And Jade says, we tried to save them once. As Tabitha says, I'll give everyone one guess what Tabitha says. No. I can't. And she runs away. And Jade says, we used to sing them lullabies. As Jim comes after Tabitha, and she's like, no, I can't. You guys may think I'm kidding, but literally that's all she says in this scene. Like 3 times in a row, her lines are, no, I can't. And Jim, like, whatever. Jim grabs her and like shakes
he
her.
definitely grabbed her forcefully, but I definitely feel him on it. Because you can't just run off like this, Shorty. You just can't just run off.
It's like, what the fuck?
We're supposed to be a team. I opened up, said I'm trying to understand you here. You know what I mean, and everything else. So he did grab those shoulders a little forcefully. Though.
Yeah,
he definitely grabbed them.
And but yeah, I agree. It was like a listen to me, like I'm here for you, kind of what the fuck. It wasn't like a mean what the fuck. And he says, and Tabitha's like, listen, Jade and I have been here before. I wasn't just feeling Miranda energy. I was Miranda and Jade was Christopher. We've been back here over and over again. We failed to help the kids. But it wasn't just that. We were here at the very beginning. We tried to set the kids free. So theoretically, I'm just spitballing here, Tony, that all these people sold their souls or sold their lives for eternal life, their kids. These two were there too. They said, fuck you guys. They're like, Superman's parents on Krypton, and they're like, no, we're gonna save the kids. We don't believe we're gonna try to like get our kid. We want to try to save it. And they failed. They couldn't quite save the kids. Yeah. And then they got stuck in this loop. Maybe the good entity in town, the good Jinn, said, well, you guys are cursed in a good way, that you're gonna try to save these kids over and over again, just like all these other people are stuck here for dead all over again. Some shit like that.
100%. But somehow their kid got sacrificed too. Like they weren't able to get their kid out.
Right.
And their kid. So technically you could say that they are they are two of those monsters. They are two of the monsters, but they're not stuck in that monster state. They're just stuck in the state of going into people and reliving it over and over again. But the original people that were there, it wasn't Christopher and Miranda who had a kid. They didn't have a kid. It was the entities who they turned into from that had a kid. It was their kid. And then they turned eventually into Christopher and Miranda, and now they're Tabitha and Jade. But it wasn't Christopher and Miranda who had a kid.
I know there's more questions, and that's the thing with these shows, and I love it. But one thing that keeps rising up right now for me is I understand all of this. I understand those kids. I understand, how all of this fits in, and all that makes sense to even think how Jade and Tabitha fit into it. How does the boy in white fit into it? And is the boy in white, are you having, and I know usually your answer to this is no, because you don't usually dial back with stuff, but are you still thinking the boy in white is evil, or is anything that happened in tonight's episode make you think the boy in white might not be as evil as you thought previously?
Yeah, Joseph Rosie, watch those comments you're making there about Kenny and my girl Daenerys. All right, bastard. But besides that, no, I don't. No, the boy in white's still evil. He's still. Do you think
he's our final boss? Do you think the boy in white might be our final?
You'll see when it's all said and done. Listen, cool. It's not going to happen. I know y'all want the kids dressed in his little Wimbledon outfit, and I know you want him to be good guy, but that's not the way it's gonna go down.
I want him to beat Pete Sampras in the finals, Tony. That's what I want.
It's not happening. Trust me, it's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen.
I want him to beat. I just aged myself with the Pete Sampras. Okay, so Tabitha's like, we've been here before. I was Miranda. He was Christopher. He was my husband. I love him. And we have like a special romantic thing going on. She's like, and he's like, this is where I feel totally bad for Jim, because Jim's just like, oh, okay. And she's like, listen, Jim, I need some time. And I'd be like, time? What do you mean time? Like time away from us? Like, what do you mean time? Like 5 minutes? Like time? Like, what do you're married? Like, are you just going to go like, I don't know. I'm not an insecure person, but if I was Jim in this moment, I'd feel a little insecure. I couldn't help but feel a little like, oh, my marriage.
Because you're coming back like Hawkman and Hawkwoman. After all these years, you keep coming back and getting resurrected, and they keep finding each other.
Yep, and you're Green Lantern that thinks you have a relationship with her and stuff like that.
Until Hawkman comes back after being resurrected again.
I love Tony. This is why we're friends, that you just randomly referenced the Justice League cartoon that like is one of my favorite shows of all time, and we've never talked about it. Like, but that you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm referencing the fucking Jon Stewart Hawk Girl relationship and Hawkman showing up in that big episode at the end of season 1. But yeah, great show. If people haven't watched it, the old Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Justice League, Batman Beyond, and Static Shock are all some of the best animated superhero stuff ever. And yes, we at here at Teflon TV, we're at 99K. Let's get as many towards that 100,000 as we can.
Yeah, we're at 99,000 subscribers right now. It's been a long time coming. Someone sent me a message here with a whole bunch of things Chris did. I'm going to look into all this stuff with this Dr. Mabuse. I keep seeing the name in the chat, this Dr. Mabuse. We'll go through the Dr. Mabuse, but don't get Ancooied, bro. I'm just going to tell y'all, don't get Ancooied again. Don't get Ancooied with the Mabuse. All right, you've seen it happen. Don't allow it to happen to you again. We are exactly at. Well, let's look at the subscriber count right now. It's
exactly 99 or
99,108.
Oh, nice. So we got 108 because before the show it was at 99. So we're very close. And no, Tony's not eating the hot chip on the stream, on the 100,000 stream. Stop that. So, and yes, truth too much. Anna Lucia Acosta I want to get a t-shirt with her picture on it. Okay, so Tabitha is like, yeah. Well, I love Jade. Sorry, Jim. And I need some time. Sorry. So then we flash back. This is let's feel bad for Jim, like really bad. Jim's life's about to be over, and the last 20 minutes of his life was really, really bad. So we flash back to Jim, remembering the good times. Like Jim did not have a happy end of his life.
Yeah, he might just be singing just the two of us. Like he just, I remember the good times. The good times was you just driving in the RV, bro.
Yeah, that's your good time.
Like that. Like if I'm with my chick and I'm remembering good times, that's not the time I'm remembering.
Dude, weren't they already
the last trip we're taking before we get divorced?
Get a divorce. That's what I was. Yeah, weren't they gonna get a divorce at that point in time? Dude?
Yeah, that's not the trip I'm gonna remember. I got a lot of things to remember. God-damn it, it ain't gonna be that shit.
What do you think about that, Lotus? Yeah, Lotus doesn't like that either. She realized she's on camera now, and she's eye fucking the camera. So we get a flashback to him. He walks past the RV. He kind of has a what the fuck ruminating cry moment, whatever. And as he's sort of crying, feeling uncomfortable, shitty, we hear somebody go, Dad, 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 Dad. And it's Julie. She comes over and she has different hair, scar across her face. And she says, Dad, Dad, I need to change the story. I need to run. Right at that point, Tony, I'm sorry. One last time, everybody. And I know kick a man when he gets his throat cut out by a dude wearing a yellow jacket. But I'm going to do that anyway. Fucking Jim, when your daughter comes out with a new haircut and a scar across her face, Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. When your daughter tells you to fucking run, Jim. Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to beat feet, bro. Just beat feet and just get the fuck out of there. And not push her out the way. Go.
No, he literally pushes her out of the way. He's like, you run. No.
Yeah.
And then Yellow Man shows up and he's like, hey, that's one hell of a song. Now the Jade sure can play. And this didn't have to happen. Knowledge comes with a cost. As Jim Jim still has a chance to run as this guy sort of Miranders over to him. And Julie's like, run. He's like, shut up, Julie, and just pushes her down. Literally pushes Julie down. Doesn't just, Tony, you're not exaggerating. He pushes Julie. Like, get the fuck away from me, Julie.
It's like he grabbed his wife's shoulders. He gave her that same type of shove.
Yeah. And then he says, you need to listen to me. I need to change the story. And this does not happen without a cost. And then he grabs Jim. And it was a little digital thing where I think they moved in slow motion and sped it up because just the way it looked a little off to me. I don't know if you noticed that too, Tony. It was like, it just looked a little like,
yeah. Like it was very choreographed when they moved him around.
Yeah. He just like grabbed him and it was like, whatever, like, that old sort of animation style with that Tim Burton used to use, where it was like, quick scenes by scene, like in Beetlejuice, they use it and stuff.
You see, and now Jim can't fight, because if the guy overpowers you and puts you like that, that's when you got to start kicking. You gotta get out of there. Like you gotta get, if he's squeezing your neck, there's things you can do here. You can kick him in the nuts. You got to do something, Jimbo. You just don't submit. And Jim just submitted to it, and like you ain't getting me like that. I'm too wiry.
Yeah,
like, they didn't out of stuff.
100%, and they didn't play it. That they didn't show that dude was strong. I think that's what the stop motion. Thank you, everyone that said stop motion. That's what I was trying to figure out. It was almost like a stop motion kind of thing. I don't know if that was supposed to show you how strong the Yellow Man was in that moment, but he sort of like Jim swings a really weak ass fucking swing with a stick at him, and like, I'm gonna get you. And Yellow Man just
he had a pointy side with the stick too. Why wouldn't you use the pointy side?
You stab him with the what did Ned Stark? Yeah, what's
everyone knows? They stick him with the pointy end, man. He did that.
So then Yellow Man grabs him. Let me get Donald for show me you in the doll with a Yellow Man touches me. So he like has him up against the wall and stuff like that, like this. And then Julie comes up behind and he's just like, fuck you, Julie. The Yellow Man just like swats Julie. Like Julie's shit to him. Like he's just like, he knows Julie. He doesn't give a shit about Julie. He's just like, fuck you, Julie. And then he goes, your wife shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim. And then just rips his fucking neck out, Tony. And that's the end of our episode.
Listen, it was a gangster way to go out. He didn't go out like, a little thing. Like they killed him off right. And if you're going to kill somebody off, that if I was going to get killed off on the show, I want to get killed off violently.
Yeah, it was a good death.
I don't want to just get killed off like, with a paper cut, and then die. I don't want to go out like that. You got like I don't want to go out like Boba Fett. Like I don't want to go out something stupid like that. I want to
pit or
I don't want to get hit. Where? Oh, my backpack goes off, and no. I want to go out, and I think that he went out like a G on that one. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate the way they made the man go out and everything else. And I'm gonna go and grab a bottle of Hennessy Pure White. I'm gonna take a shot because I took a drink of water. That's not right for the $50 super chat. We said we had to take a drink. I'm gonna go get something to drink.
I'll go grab a drink when you get back. And everyone, the super chat, we're gonna have the phone lines open. We have a couple of quick voicemails. I think there were just people that sort of left us quick lines, but I see Real called in. Definitely call back, Real. 845-618. All those folks that called in, we'll have the phone lines open in a second. Let me close out all of this so I can open the chat up. And now I'm thinking out loud. But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in all season for us. We're going to open the phone lines and get you guys and your voices in. But this has been awesome to talk to you guys. As I mentioned, if anyone happens to be on the West Coast and out by Vegas, I'll be in Vegas. Let me look at the thing. Thursday, December 5th through Sunday the 8th. So if anyone's out in that area, email me at theissuesguy@gmail.com. Let's grab a drink. But other than that, I hope you guys have subscribed to both channels. Wherever you are on both channels, make sure, whichever you're watching us, make sure you subscribe. We got Darling John. I'm on the West Coast. What is Acosta's first name? It's Danny Sharon. Apulia says, was anything said about the man in yellow walking around the daylight? I think it's an example of what Martin was saying, where it's like a tip of the iceberg situation. Chris Small says, I feel like Ethan is giving Bran the broken vibes. Ethan telling the story, or is Ethan the man in yellow from the future? Possibly the man in yellow from the future. I don't know. They got to do something with Ethan's age. So that would be an interesting situation to do that. Let's crawl over here. Death Shadow Shinobi. Maybe Julie helping the boys was already part of the story. Martin almost didn't seem surprised to see Julie there in the dungeon. I also think the man in yellow was just like, oh, Julie again. Like had sort of like, oh, this is Julie trying her bullshit.
Yeah,
again.
trying to pull it. Like he knows what's going on and everything. Like he's damn Julie. You want to watch your dad die again? How many times do I have to kill your father in front of you, Julie? And that's what it seems like it's going down there and everything else. And yes, so we also have to say that it's a good possibility that the song is what allowed the dude to come out there. I mean, they did bring up the fact that, you know, why would you want to play that? Why would you want to play this song? Like, why would you, Sonic, your boy? You always got something to say. Yeah, boy. I can't just say Sonic, your boy. You ain't nobody's boy, goddammit. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good chance that the song, definitely without a shadow of a doubt, got this guy out there. Like they released something else by pulling out that song and everything else. A good chance that that's what was able to amend. Listen, if this guy is a threat, and is he just going to show up right then? Are we going to see more of the man in yellow? Is he going to be knocking on their door, coming through the door? Like, is he going to raise hell or something like that? You know, that's what we have to see with the goddamn man in yellow when it's all said and done and everything else, you know, and all that good stuff. And no, we didn't see Victor draw the man in yellow. That was Miranda who drew the man in yellow. She was seeing him inside of the basement with Henry and stuff. So we seen her. So Victor, we has no idea about the man in yellow that we know of, that he didn't see. So far, we have no proof of it, but we don't know if Victor actually seen the man in yellow. We just know that she's seen it. And it's funny that they went to that character, because in the end, and I'm telling you, he's not the final boss, because the character that we did see that was in there is the guy that looks like the boy in white with the crow's mouth. That guy is in the opening of the show. And if he's in the opening of the show, he has to be more important than the man in yellow, or they would have put the man in yellow in the opening of the show.
Ooh, someone's cooking something downstairs. It smells delicious. Area code 647. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question or comment?
Hey guys, not really a question, but this is Think Story here.
Oh, Think Story. Welcome to the show, man.
Think Story.
Yeah, I haven't done this before. I promised I was going to call in. I'm just have you on the phone right now, and I'm seeing you on the screen, but I'm just listening through my phone. And I don't really have a question. I'm like a couple drinks in, so I've got a little buzz going on. But I absolutely love what you guys do for the From community. It's so great. I try to catch your after shows when I can. You know, I'll just have it on in the background, and I love hearing the theories and everything. And what I think you guys do is really get people so stoked about this show, because this is one of my favorite shows out here. And I have no friends of mine that watch this show. I spend a lot of my days analyzing this show, and I have no one to talk to about it. So hearing you guys, talk about it, even if it's just on in the background, is so great. That's it. I don't have a question or anything.
Listen, thank you for the kind words. Let me just say that, you know, I watch your videos all the time myself. You are an amazing script writer. Like your stuff always hits. Your jokes hit. Your jokes sell. Everything that you do when you do your show, when you do your videos, really sell. So you're really good at what you do. You know what I mean, and everything else. So thank you for showing us some love. We truly appreciate it
so much, my friend. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, no worries. Unless you have any questions for me, I'm just going to say thanks so much. And I'm looking forward to 2026.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for all the love. Maybe we can get you on next season. We can figure it out if we can schedule it out to have you on for a show or at some point. That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Perfect. Have a good one, my friend.
All right. Take care, guys.
Peace.
All right, peace out, brother.
And we got area code 864. 864. Welcome to the show. What's your name and what's your question or comment and where you're from?
How you doing, guys? I'm Nino.
Hey, Nino. Welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, Nino?
Hi. How y'all doing? All right, so I got a couple like little points that I want to kind of like point out. Now I'm gonna let y'all guys like just take it off there and then answer it, whatever.
Go for it.
All right, so I think the way to stop the purge and the way the purge started was because Christopher and Miranda died. So they got to protect Jade and Jade and Miranda is like the queen and the king. So they got to protect Jade and Miranda, because if them two die, then the town's gonna get purged for a new cycle, right?
Okay.
So that's one point. I think Jade and Tabitha is gonna like messing with each other, because you can obviously see like she was like giving them like elbow touches and some more stuff. Like even when she walked away after she had the revelation or whatever, like she didn't touch Jim, but she ran away from Jim. But before she walked away, she gave little Jade a little touch. And like even when they wanted to go, like they sent Jim to go find a little violin to by itself. I'm like, damn, that's Jim wife. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that them messing with each other, they definitely gonna have a romance next season. That's obvious. But them messing with each other is gonna mess up the family dynamic, because Ethan and Julie is already gonna be hurt from Jim, and then to add Jade messing with Tabitha messing with each other is gonna like destroy them. So
you think that she's gonna, you think that she would just move his ass up in the house that quick?
I didn't hear you, boss.
You think that she would just move Jade up in the house that quick like that?
Not move them in the house, but they're gonna start spending a lot more time trying to figure out what's going on together. And then like Phil said earlier, they're not gonna be able to stop them feelings from coming, because they already had them feelings before.
Yeah. So
it's like that connection is gonna be there. So like they're gonna, not that she's gonna mean to do it, but it's just gonna happen. Like it's gonna be something like they trying to like figure it out, and then they kiss or whatever, and Ethan happens to see them. Type like I saw mama kiss a Santa Claus type deal.
Rose Jones in the live chat says Jade will be hugging her at the funeral. I don't know if even that bad.
You sure will. People say that.
I think that's one point. So now my thing is Ethan the man in the yellow, because he knows the story. He's the storyteller. But I don't know why would he kill his dad though. So I was thinking that while I was at work. So I kind of scratched that one out. But who knows though? Ethan the man in yellow ? And then I'm more leaning towards the side that Julie came back to stop Jim from dying, but she should know how her powers work, because I don't think she goes back when she goes back in time, it's not like when she goes back in time, it's her now. It's not like she's in the past. So when she goes back in time, it's like becomes her now. So she basically made that part of the story. So if she wanted to stop her dad from dying, she shouldn't have gone back in time. If that makes sense.
No, I think I think that I think he's died. He died by the man in yellow, and Julie was never there. We didn't see that actual scene happen. We seen a different scene, a different version of that scene when she went back.
That makes sense. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But I'm more leaning towards that side, that she came to stop Jim. But I was also thinking, what if she didn't come to stop Jim? What if stop Jim from dying? What if she came to stop Jade from playing that violin? Because maybe that's what woke up the man in the yellow.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And it's been great. It's been great chilling with y'all this season. I've watched Severance, so I'll chill with y'all Severance. But I hope I can watch some more shows with y'all and just keep doing what y'all doing, man. It's been fun.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to the pro community. Y'all very welcoming in the Discord, and y'all make it easy to be in the chat with y'all. So that's it though. Good night, y'all.
What's up, man? Thanks for the call.
And then we're going a little rock and call to call. Oh, we got a couple calls at once here. Let's take 347 first. Area code 347. Welcome to the show. What's your name, question, comment, and where are you from?
Hi, this is Rose. I'm from Brooklyn.
Hey, Rose. Welcome to
What's
the show.
going on, Rose from Brooklyn?
Hey, Phil. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the very last scene. Do you think that Riley was looking at Boyd?
I don't think that he was able to see Boyd. I think the way they were trying to play it was that Boyd seen them, but they didn't see Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd had an invisible shield on in that scene. I think they were supposed to. I think it was the same thing. Like they were supposed to be playing. Like Boyd was somehow shielded in the corner and couldn't quite see him. But I agree with the way they shot it. It almost looked like Smiley looked at him and smiled, but I don't think he actually saw him.
Yeah, because he got that devilish grin and he kind of looked over his shoulder. So I thought it was like, oops, I see you, you know, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just be wanting a bloodbath. I don't know. I'm a gory type of person. And I think they going to chase him down, you know, but you might be right. He covered in plot armor, so you never know.
Yeah,
and then also, when
Lamar's like that. Lamar wants the bloodbath too. That's all she ever talks about. Lamar is just the death. She wants the gore.
Yes, I want the gore. I want the blood. So, also, when he said that he was gonna go get the tools to torture Jim, I thought he was gonna do it like Guantanamo Bay style, like water in a bucket and a towel, because he tried to keep stuff quiet. I didn't think he was gonna come back with a tool bag, but I'm kind of happy how everything went down, you know. So I just want more gore. I want more violence.
No.
So, all right, but I'm gonna hang up so everybody else can get in. But thank you guys so much for calling. Been really good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, we're gonna take this shot for the two ladies who gave us the $50 super chat for the one for Luna and one for Saggy Star.
Okay. Whoa, 1 second, callers. I'll get right to your calls. I'll call right back in. We're just gonna do a quick shots. Let me pour my shot for you for this situation, Tony.
You got a little pure white Henny in here. My sister got me this right here.
Okay. Here we go. Toast to our super chatters. Thank
you. And toast to the whole familia and everyone else for the whole season and for joining us the whole season and basically making us like the #1 live stream for the show for 3 years in a row.
And one of the top podcasts for the show as well. We'll be honest. Like I've been looking at download numbers. We're near the top. Yeah.
Thank you.
And
truly appreciate it.
I wonder if that will bring the Anakui Kids. Let's see. That's my version of the Anakui Kids song. I probably should have learned the song. If that would have made it a lot better. We have an area code 602. 602. Welcome to the show. What's your name, question, comment, and where you're from?
Hey guys. Hey fellas. This is Elisa. This is Elisa from the Bronx, but I'm not in the Bronx right now. Soundview section, that's my hood. But
Soundview. Oh my God, I almost got killed in Soundview once time. These dudes almost killed me. I almost died in Soundview. Oh, that was
no, why?
we went to this house party. My man Riley took us to this house party, and we came up there with like 5-6 heads, and we didn't know nobody in there. And then Riley, when we get up in there, Riley's like, I'm like, how do you know this chick? He's like, oh, I just met her on the train today. And I'm like, yo, you don't even know this chick? And we in this house party. So next thing I know, we was up in there, and they search you when you go in the house party. So we didn't have nothing on us. They searched us. I look behind my back. I seen dude pass the pistol to the next person and stuff. And in the beginning, we was on the outside dancing. Then all of a sudden, we were in the middle, and everyone was surrounding us. And how we got out that situation was amazing, and it still is one of the funniest things we talk about because we was dead for rights. They had us dead for rights, and we got out of it. And that's my Soundview story out there.
That's how. Was it like a project or like?
Yeah, it was in the projects. It was in the projects.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of from there, but not. It's like I lived in 2 different communities, but that was part of like where I stayed and hung out with a lot of people from there. But it's very dangerous. I don't know about now, but it's still very dangerous.
Yeah, especially when you coming in there and you from Queens, 5 people deep, and you taking one of the girls who's throwing the party. You know what I mean? It's just not a good look because you don't know who in that project she dealt with before, who her ex-man is, if someone in there that already like her. Like it's just not a good situation, and it wasn't.
I'm glad you got out of it because you're doing great with this show and everything else.
Well,
and Phil and Elmar definitely for sure. But like my call was regarding So when they were playing the violin, or Jade rather was playing a violin tune, it seemed like it directly lured the children to unlock like their memories. Like I don't know if it was like just Jade and Miranda's, or not Miranda. What's her name? Tabitha. Or is it for the other people as well in the town? So I'm not sure if it was just for those two. And then also the best scene. Well, I love Boyd when he did use the N-word. He did use it. I watched it twice and I said, oh my gosh. And then the best scene was when Randall was doing those pull-ups. I was like, ooh.
All right. Well, okay, there you go. There you go. I'm sure if he's watching right now, he's happy about that you say that.
It took me off guard because like that just came out of nowhere this scene. I was like, oh wow, okay. But yeah. So, but what do you think about that as far as like the violent tune?
Oh, I thought you wanted to know what we thought about.
I
thought you wanted to know what we thought about Randall doing pull-ups. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it was cool. He looked awesome in that. I mean, I thought it was like he was shining. You know, he had some. I was feeling Randall in that moment too.
Not the dime.
Yeah. So, but what do you think about like the memory, like the violin unlock their memories, or do you think it's like just directly about this man in yellow?
It seemed that, you know, when he got the code, he knew the song. Like instantly, he knew the song. He knew how to play the song and everything. And it seemed like as soon as their daughter said Anna Cooey to them, all their memories came right back. Like that last time she said it to him, that was it. Like it all snapped to both of them. They both remembered everything. So I don't know if it was the song or that last Anna Cooey that daughter said to him.
Yeah, because she was like, she said it differently too, like not creepy. It was just like regular, and
it was almost like a Anna Cooey. Like come on, you don't get it yet? Like that kind of vibe. It was almost like unspoken in the language. But I don't know if I do think the song could have done many other things besides bringing the children there. And I think they made it a point with, as I said earlier, I don't think Jim is wrong about everything. And Jim making it a point to have Jim bring up that all those things are happening, or that's a possibility about the music box and about that, and having them just quickly dismiss it. I think that's something that might come back. And I do think maybe had some effect on the man in yellow showing up, whether what they did connecting with the kids made the man in yellow go, they're getting a little too close, I need to stop things, or that actually did summon him to a certain extent. I guess we'll see in the future, but I do think the song maybe had some other lasting effects.
Yep.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm like looking forward to all you guys' shows coming up, and hopefully that 12-hour stream, and hopefully we get 100K today. Like, come on, people. All right, have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much.
We will be covering Earth Abides, the next show coming out for MGM. It's just a limited series. It's only going to be like 5 to 6 episodes, but we will cover Earth Abides. So if y'all still want to keep the MGM thing going, just you don't get rid of your subscription just yet. Let's watch Earth Abides together. Let's get that thing popping.
Let's take this one. This is our good friend, the voice of 916. Welcome to the show, voice of 916.
Well, hello, Phil. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
You looking sharp tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, what an episode. You know, it felt, I can imagine how you feel when your theories are proven to be facts after you see an episode. Because at our last call, I mentioned that when Jade and Tabitha were, when Jade was playing the violin and the Anakui kids appeared, how their faces looked, how Tabby and Jade's faces looked, how sad they looked. It was kind of an obvious prediction, but it felt good to be vindicated by the episode.
No, you got that right. There's no small predictions in life. You got that.
Yeah. But you know, the thing the standout thing, I mean, there was a lot of things that stood out about this episode, but obviously the most standout thing was the man in yellow. And the man in yellow gave me vibes from, do you remember a movie, Poltergeist 2? Where this entity had taken a group of people out to the desert, and he had
yeah.
told them
Okay.
that it was the end of days and that he would provide for them, and that he was, he was a reverend, was going to help them. Do you remember that movie?
I kind of do. It's like Greg T. Nelson coaches in it, right? The guy, like I think, I remember the first one a lot more than the second one, obviously. But it's not foreign to me what you're saying right now. Like I do remember. I think Poltergeist 2. I do have I'm imagining what you're saying. So keep going.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, and what it made me think specifically in regards to From is that maybe this whole thing started with a group of people coming from maybe Europe and immigrated over to the U.S. And when they settled, they stayed in that I guess we're calling it the cannibal village where the cabins were, and that is where they decided that what they wanted was everlasting life, and requested, and whoever was granting it was going to request that they sacrifice their children as the price for everlasting life. So it just kind of remind me of one another. That the man in yellow, he's a trickster, and he's not the big bad, but he is kind of the intermediary where he gets people to give up things that they're really not really knowing what they're giving up.
Voice, have you watched Lost?
Yes, I have.
So in a sense, and again, I know this isn't the same show, but is he more going to be, you think, like a Ben Linus versus like the big bad would be more Smokey at the end, whoever ends up being that. But this guy is theoretically going to be more of a Ben Linus kind of situation, like a adversary, maybe a really nefarious one, but not our final adversary.
Yes, a misguided true believer, but he's not the main entity. Yeah, that's who I believe the man in yellow was. But I tell you, he was creepy as hell. That old man was creepy.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm not
listen,
going to hold it up. I know that a lot of people want to come in and say what they want to say, but I just want to give my 2 cents. And Tony, you're looking good. I'm telling you, you're looking good tonight, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. And as always, stay sexy.
Ooh,
You too.
Thank you.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the man in yellow looks like Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund.
I almost thought they should have cast Robert Englund at one point. Now that I saw him, I'm like, oh, he would have been that would have been too on the nose. Area code 314. Welcome to the show, 314. Oh, goodbye, 314. While we're waiting for another call, we got a couple of voicemails, but we're probably going to get a call before. Yep, 314 is back. 314, welcome back. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Yeah, this is JR from St. Louis.
Welcome, JR.
What's going on, St. Louis?
Yeah, so I had a question. So, hey, so do y'all think that the man in yellow was the one who killed them people when Victor came out from
I hear you,
from
the root cellar
or whatever?
Listen, that's a really good question, and that's a good possibility because we've seen those people were killed in the daytime. Now, if he would have been able to get, it still seems too many for one person, unless he's got some flash type situation going on here. But again, I don't think there's just one of those men in yellow. I think there's a bunch of them.
Area code 720. Welcome to the show, 720.
Hey, what's poppin', man?
What's up, my friend?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, yo, Tony, man, you over there looking fly as shit, bro.
I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Hey, yo. Did that hold on. Do you think Julie, at the end, like, you ever seen the Back to the Future, the first one? The first Back to the Future?
Yeah, all of them.
Yo, like at the end, right? When the Doc saying Marty.
What about your kids?
Back
your
to the
kids.
Future?
Your kids are screwed up. I have to tell you about your kids. They're assholes in the future.
Yeah. But like, and then he came back, right? He was like, hold on, I just sent you. Doc's like, hold on, I just sent you to the future.
Back
He's
to the
like, Marty's
future.
like, I know, Doc, but I just came back from the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of reminded me, like when Julie, like the other Julie at the end, it's like she popped up. It's like, yo, this shit kind of reminded me of like the Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's a good
You
call. Totally.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. They're definitely doing the time traveling. Again, it's very dicey when you do it. I hope they handle it right. I hope they take the time that they got off to make sure it's not campy, because you can solve every problem in the world with time travel, and it could get stupid if you do that, right? So it's really, you got to really work. You got to really work that. Do good when you put time travel in the show.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that time travel. Yeah, it's some type of like it's just like, you know, the Julie though. So I was like, hold on, is that Julie? Like, she looked hella different. I was like, but no, that's Julie though. She even like sound different. Like she was like running. I know it's the Man in Yellow though, but it sounded like she went through some shit. You know, like I was like, that's definitely not the Julie. I was like, yeah, it just brought me back to that Back to the Future. Like when Marty came back, I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, man.
All right, I appreciate the call.
Oh, sorry, man. The call was ending anyway, but I got trigger happy on the hang up.
Yeah, we're keeping it rapid fire. We got a bunch of people calling, so we're rapid fire.
Okay, area code 256. What's your name? What's your question? Who the fuck are you? No, who the hell are you? What's going on?
Hey, it's Michael. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Michael. Great to hear from you, friend.
Look, I got to tell you something right out of the gate. When you were talking about it looks like a Wimbledon outfit. I about fell out the chair. I was like, he's like a little Jimmy Connors. I was like, man. Oh, that was a good one. So look, my question would be, do you possibly think, either one of y'all, like I'm with you, Phil, like, you know, how did Fatima acquire that information? But could it possibly be they had a conversation off screen? Because Kimono Lady definitely had a conversation with Elgin off screen, because when he got the Polaroid and he went there, remember, he said, so this is really where it happens. And we never did see any of that. So do y'all think it could be an off-screen conversation that happened?
It could be, but what did she say exactly? That she's seen it? Did she say she's seen it? Or how did she say how she got the information? She said, I know. You know,
right.
It could, yeah, no. So they could have had the conversation off screen. They could have done that. But when? Because she was basically in labor the whole time. As soon as she gave birth, that baby, that Kimono Lady grabbed that baby and left. Then she just grabbed the baby and said, oh, by the way, just to let you know.
Let me tell you why we're doing this. We're doing this because
why she carried that down there. Or maybe the memories of Smiley when it was in her somehow transferred into
that's probably what happened. It was intravenous memories of some kind. I guess that's a thing in the show, and it can be a thing. Like it's a thing in Nightmare on Elm Street too, in the Dream Child, when Alice is sort of infected by her own baby and sort of put to sleep by her baby being infected by Freddy. So there's precedent for this in horror movies and stuff, or variations of this. But I would have liked a moment of realization from Fatima, considering we had a few scenes with her that were useless scenes of just showing her kicking cans and being frustrated with the situation. We could have had a moment where she has a sort of discovery of like, oh my God, I know why this is happening. Just to kind of show us, instead of just snap the fingers and here's an exposition dump after she, gets rid of the pod. I just hope they get into like how she found out that information. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky, but that was a small.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. And I wanted to throw two more things at you really quick.
Go for it.
I'm glad y'all have commented on Tabitha going, no, because that is horribly getting on my nerves.
No.
You would think as good as they're doing, they could write something else for her to do and say.
I can't. No, they can't. I can't. No.
Yeah, I mean, really, no. They can't think of anything else. But the other one is, I want to know if I'm the only one that's noticed this. I love Henry's character. It's so cool. And like you said, he should be up for an award. But does it almost seem like he sort of sings his line? It's like, Victor, do you really think we really need to? It's like he's always, is that just me, or have y'all noticed that?
He's got a certain cadence when he says his line, when he delivers them all the time. I thought maybe because he was drunk and that's why he was doing it. You know what I mean?
I think that's why.
Good one. Yeah.
He's always got a few in
Guys, thank you. Thank you for taking my call, guys. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
No,
thank you. Thank you for the call. I truly appreciate it.
And let's see if we have a time for this voicemail before we get another call. We had a couple people calling. I saw KP calling in, and I saw a few other it's KP on point. KP, turn your radio down.
Good evening.
What's going on, KP?
What's going on, KP?
I'm good. Listen, I am satisfied. I'm very satisfied of that last episode.
KP, you also sound very drunk.
No, I don't drink liquor.
Okay.
I do other things.
Me too.
Yeah, it was such a nice end to the season. There's a lot of questions. Like, where did the people who are the monsters now, who apparently killed their children to become immortal, but in that very, very weird way. Hopefully they didn't plan that. But like, where did those people, that first crop of people, where did they come from, and why did they come to wherever they are? So that's one thing. And then Julie's whole I can time travel thing. Are we going to be watching an entire season or two or several seasons of her running around the place trying to save her dad over and over and failing? Hopefully they don't do that. That sounds horrible. And then what's Victor's job now? Like, what does Victor actually do now? And the other thing, Boyd, and Kenny and a bunch of other people too, is getting out of the village or getting out of Town even a realistic goal to have. It seems as though it isn't. It seems as though they're kind of here until they're no longer here, till they die. It feels as though the pull is just too strong. So perhaps in that last question, you guys can tell me what you think. Do you think it's really a practical aim, a practical goal for them to actually work, actually think that they're going to get out of here alive? And I'll let you guys answer that, and I'll watch you next week.
Thank you,
all right, brother. Appreciate it. I think in the end, if he's saying how it ends, is it got to be some type of time travel to prevent the kids from ever getting sacrificed.
Yeah, they introduced it, so it doesn't seem like once you introduce something like that, you said it perfectly a second ago, Tony. They've introduced it. I just hope they handle it with care. Something like Back to the Future, I know it's a comedy, and even Bill and Ted, both those things handled it, time travel, in interesting, cool enough ways to sell it in the product that it was doing. Time travel isn't the easiest things that have pulled it off. What was that movie? 12 Monkeys did it really awesome.
Yeah.
Like certain things that do time travel good, it really works, but it can be a little weird. I didn't like how it was used in Game of Thrones, particularly.
Yeah, no, it's a fixer. It's an eraser. You could fuck something up and then time travel and fix it. And when shows use it like that, that's the problem.
Area code 917. Welcome to the show. What's your name and what's your question or comment?
I'm Chucker Poe. I just had a question. Tony, I want to say you're very, 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 very smart. You was spot on about a lot of things. I need to take you with me when I'm looking for a man.
I wouldn't let you do it. Say it again.
Last name, Guy, Phil?
What was that?
Is that your last name, Guy?
Yes.
That's mine too. We're cousins. How about that? But I'm black.
That's fine.
Anyhow, I wonder about the picture of the house. You think that was the old picture because the boat wasn't in there, or what was that about?
Yeah, I think it was some type of Google Earth shot. Like they fucked up with it. You know what I mean? If they would have had the boat in there, they would have had him. But it could have just been like a satellite shot that they put up in there real quick, and it was an old one.
You said that earlier. I missed it, but now it totally looks like a Google Earth shot. Like they just.
Okay, I was wondering about that. And one more question: do y'all think that they killed Silly off because she knew what Elgin Elgin had been seeing. She's the only one that knew what he's been seeing. He had been seeing the kimono lady.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they went ahead and killed her out.
That's a good point. That's not something I thought about. But did they kill Tilly because she was the only one that kind of knew what Elgin was up to and sort of had a read on him? Maybe that could have been why they had
That's a
had
really
her.
good
Sort
point.
of,
I never thought about that. That's
actually a really, really good point. I never thought of, but maybe that could be very accurate because she was sort of Tilly is such an observer that they may have wanted to ruin an opportunity for her to bust their plan in any way. So that's certainly a possibility. That's what.
Well, I just want to. I enjoy listening to y'all when I'm taking broken lines in the middle of the highway. So y'all just keep it going.
All right, thank you. Be safe out there.
All right.
Great effing call right there. And let me stretch this out so I can play this voicemail. This is area code 720. Oh wait. And we'll take the call.
Yeah.
Area code 812. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hey,
How
what's
you
going
doing?
on?
Who we talking to?
Glue, Guns, and Roses.
All right, there. I should have known with the who it was.
So correct. Okay, I want to say two things. One, it's just an observation, a factual observation. When everyone says that, like, oh, it's so sad, Jim died, he just got a redemption arc. His redemption arc wasn't finished. That's what makes it sad. You know, you could see he was changing, but not totally. Like you said earlier, he still spun Tabitha around, shook the shit out of her, and was like, don't go anywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but you could see he was changing. He was definitely changing. He was giving her space. He was listening. He went to her boyfriend and was like, listen, I know she's going through stuff, but you can help her change. So please come help her change. But that's just facts, you know. So I did, and I want to say to everyone, I do like Jim's actor. Nothing against the actor. Yeah. It's just Jim was such a, you know, minus figuring out the music notes. He was But okay, so I do want to say, I've seen a lot of the comments of your video, Tony, from earlier, and just other people's videos. People talking about how the town won't trust Boyd, all Boyd. But remember, Donna, Kenny, Sarah technically was the one that took out the eye, but everyone else that was there, they all co-signed what happened. Nobody besides Acosta when she busted the door, but when she got there, everybody was in on it. They may not have been the one like hitting the hammer, but everybody else was in on it. So if Boyd, either all of them are going to try to cover up what Boyd did, or they're going to have to go down with them. Like the town's going to have to feel the same way, don't you think?
You know what I didn't think about, but yes, they're all culpable for it, right? They all allowed it to happen, so they all would. But I think it was set up for Sarah to take the fall, and that's why they had to go in there.
Does Acosta try to handle Sarah after, because she thinks of Sarah now? All she's heard about her is now this is the second like a multiple murderers in town. So is Acosta going to get all up in Sarah's business next season?
I guess at this point, I'd like to see her try. I mean, we don't know what Sarah's capable of. Who knows? Yes. Sarah has. Like I said earlier, she speaks soft and then she cuts real deep. So who knows? I mean, I do think in reality, Acosta's probably going to try to bring it to the town. That'll be like, listen up, here's what I saw. Here's what Boyd was doing. But at the same time, everybody else is there. Like if y'all are neighbors and you're seeing me beat my kid and you do what everybody else did, but Donna and Kenny, they're like, oh no, ooh, yikes. But then you just stand there and let it happen. And when I'm like, go get me the belt and the hammer and the chainsaw, I'm going to teach this little kid a lesson, and you go get it for me. I mean, how are you not responsible too?
And they were watching along too. Totally. They're like,
100%. They're definitely culpable for everything there too. And who are you? We don't know you, Shorty. We've been here with Boyd for months. You just got here. Why should we even take your word over anything?
Right. I mean, see, at this point, if I were Donna, Kenny, Ellis, any of them, I would be making sure that be like, listen, it's our word against this new shooting liar. You know, Acosta, on another side note, Acosta wants to, when it's her fault, when she shot Nikki and she left Tabitha chained up, she wanted to use the excuse, oh God, I just got here. I didn't know they were monsters here. But then as soon as it's anybody else, she wants to apply real world rules to what they're doing to Elgin. She wants real world rules when it comes to Sarah being free, but she wants Fromville rules when she effed up, left Tabitha chained up, and shot Nikki. So anyway, she can't have it both ways. I still think Acosta sucks.
Sorry, Tony, your wife sucks, but she does. So anyways, that's how I feel. I do feel like they're going to go towards like taking Boyd off of his leadership role, although I do think that's what the town needs. But I do hope that the show addresses like how are they going to get away with demonizing Boyd when once again, pretty much everyone else was in on it, whether they stabbed an eye or looked the other way or told Boyd where the mother effing tools were. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, Fatima is also that type person to come out and probably say it. Like, I killed Tilly.
Yeah.
Like, she may be guilty enough that she just sends it to everybody.
She's not going to be able to deal with the weight. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be able to deal with the weight of keeping the lie. And I think that's going to be a big part of next season with her. She's like, I need to tell everybody what I did. They need to know the truth. I can hear her voice getting all like, you know, I need to tell everyone what I did. They need to, you know, I can't lie about this, Ellis. I can't lie. I don't know. I hear it.
Well, you know, you might be right because she seems very unscary, and everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh!" I also don't think Elgin's going in the box. He paid his debt. His what was it? You know, an eye for a lie. He's fine now. Okay, so and everyone can be like, "Oh God, you know, that was kind of a dickhole move. You did kind of drag her down the steps," but they didn't see that, so they can probably forgive her, right? Okay, so yeah, but I do think that they're probably going to try to move towards Boyd being the bad guy. But at this point, you know, like Rick from The Walking Dead, it's a Boydtocracy. Isn't that what he said? It's not a democracy.
It's a Rick.
Now it's a Boydtocracy.
It's a Rickocracy. Yeah.
If Acosta and them get rid of Boyd, Acosta is definitely going to die. That's I guarantee you that she does something, because they did make a point of Boyd saying to Kenny, "You need to wear the bad, not no hothead like Acosta." Like, they made it a point for him to say that this season. You know, so I could see Boyd banishing himself from town and leaving, and then shit hitting the fan when he's not there.
Yeah, I think the monsters will manipulate Acosta and play her nature against her really easily. Like, if she becomes in charge next season, if that's something that happens next season, like the first part, she takes over for a week or so in town, I think she'll make some big mistake because the monsters will fuck with her. They'll do something of porn stash like levels to make her do something stupid based on her temper, and then Boyd will have to take over again.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I'm going to get off here. I know y'all got a bunch of calls going in. I do agree, and I do want to say they've made a point to show that Acosta is still trying to go by real world rules, except for herself. This whole season. Okay, y'all, thanks for taking my call. Can't wait to see who calls in next. Y'all had a great season, don't you think?
Yeah,
I think so. We have had a great season.
And we do have another call right away. This is from area code 636. Welcome to the show, 636. I tried to say.
Yeah. What's up, man? My name is Draymond. How you guys doing?
Doing good, Draymond.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Don, Tony Teflon, I've been listening to you for a while. I like some of your theories. Some of them I don't agree with, but a lot I do, especially about the fairy stuff. Good on you for that, because I agreed with that since day one, especially because Smiley had a tooth in his pocket, and if you know anything about fairies, they say that's exactly what they do.
That is true.
Two things I want to say, and I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but like, it's just some theories I have.
I mean, there's no spoilers anymore now, right?
What's up?
I mean, there's no spoilers anymore. The season's over. Like,
yeah. Okay. Have you ever heard about the Bantu tribe? Bantu.
No.
Okay, well, check this out. A tribe in Africa called the Bantu tribe. Look into it. They do a lot of what is happening is happening with the Bantu tribe. They do children sacrifices. They worship a tree, even to this day. And there's a lot of parallels with the tribe. So yeah, definitely go down that rabbit hole, because that's pretty cool. I think, because there's a lot of my wife was really good with looking into this stuff, and she was telling me about the Bantu tribe. Really, really good stuff, because a lot of this, like with the colony house, you know, you can feel like, I mean, it seems like, you know, racist overtones, you know.
And sorry, caller, we're having a little trouble with the connection there. It's a little the audio of that was getting. Yeah, it was getting to my ears a little bit right there. So
I
sorry,
would say,
you
I
got
don't see any.
anechoied. The caller got anechoied a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see any racist overtones in the Colony House, bro. Me personally, I mean, but hey, you know, he definitely was doing his little trolley stuff and everything else, and that's cool. You know, people like to do that. People like to do it. Hope it helped him. hope it helped him. And I said nothing about fairies. I just said gin. So, but whatever. It is what it is. You know, everyone's gotta at least try. I guess you know what I mean. To try to.
Tony, we got a spam caller. I know who this is. We got spam. We got some spam.
Oh my god, spam again.
Another spam troller. What troll spam? What's up, troll spammer? Hello.
What up? No, ain't no spam.
Oh no, I honestly thought you were somebody else. I'm sorry, because someone else
is calling in with spam.
No, this is area code 404. Sorry, 404. Okay. You're not spam. It's just I just saw that, so I thought it was somebody else. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, from the A, man. This is Outdoor Care Bishop, man.
How's it going, buddy?
My bad. Yeah, pretty good, man. Phil, Tony, congratulations on the prediction. Like I say, as soon as you said the backwards 2 numbers, I was like, yeah, that sounds like something for the music.
There you go. Good looks on that. Good looks. I take it.
Oh yeah, bro. Like I say, man, folks be giving you a hard time, but hey, man, you be coming through, man. You be coming through, man. Like I say, man, I mess with it. But real quick, did y'all notice the Mabuse, or Mr. Mabuse or Dr. Mabuse references, like on the defibrillator?
You know, I've heard it. Someone's brought it to my attention, but I've never investigated it yet. So I'm aware of it, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And like I said, I know they're pulling like references from that, because basically all the stuff that Dr. Mabuse, as soon as you read up on him and stuff, he does pretty much what the man in yellow would do. The Elgin, I gotta give Elgin that on credit. You can got on might be able to hit a lick with him, because he ain't no quick snitcher. So, don't give it up too quick. He got doing one for the team, man. Him and Sarah ain't gonna see eye to eye for a while. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it. I know. Listen, he took a beating. You know what I mean? Anyone giving it up if they getting their eye taken out. So I can't.
Come on.
I can't fault him on that.
Yeah, and I gotta give a shout out to the Odin references that was given to that with the Norse mythology. You know what I'm saying? And the quest for knowledge. That on, you know, he had to give up an eye and stuff. So I definitely got on see all the references to that. I love the fact that Jade pointed out people need to pay attention to, saying that energy can't be destroyed or, you know, saying created. It just is transferred. And like I say, I believe that works with souls, the lights, the way the light fixtures and stuff, the electrical appliances and everything work in the town. All that's, you know what I'm saying, like connected. Yeah, because like you said, if energy can't be displaced. Also, that kind of would explain why Tabitha and Jade can't can start seeing like having the effects of the reincarnation, like able to get clearer visions and stuff. Like she was on that trial version for a while. Looked like she got the premium now, so she getting the clear vision now. So yeah, man. But yeah, man, just wanted to come through, holler at y'all, man. Hey, appreciate everything you do, man. It's gonna be a long little while, but I know you're gonna keep us rocking, man. Keep us in
we're gonna see. We got you in the off season. Don't worry, we'll be here for the long night.
For sure. All right, Tony. All right, Phil, the nicest dude on the stream.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Peace. Let's see if we can get a couple of these voicemails, because I know we're getting ready to wrap things up. We have a 5-second message from a good friend of the show.
Yo, this is Real Enigmas. Hit me up. Let me call in.
We missed the timing of him calling in, but there is area code 815. Welcome to the show, 815.
Hi, it's Fatima. Hi, Tony. Hi, Phil.
Hey,
What's going on, Fatima?
Um, so I just want to say, a couple weeks I did call in and I was saying that somebody needed to kill Elgin ass. And Sarah stepped up. She didn't kill him, but she stepped up and did what she had to do. And I was so excited about it because he got us all the way fucked up talking about this kimono lady was an angel and he was totally in belief. At the end of the day, I just feel like he could have said, listen, she down in the root cellar, go down there and get her. But I guess if they would have got her before the baby came, could they have destroyed the baby Smiley?
Yeah.
You would think maybe they could have set it on fire, did something before he grew back.
Or if she was able to stab it with the glass, would that have done anything?
Yeah, maybe there was some weakness right then that he could have. But wouldn't he have came back again anyway? She just got pregnant again, right?
Or someone else would have.
I think it had to be her because she was like the only one that couldn't have babies. So I don't know. But yeah, it was just like, I really love the finale. And I just want to say congratulations, Tony, because all your theories are coming to fruition. So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So I'm going to let you guys wrap it up. And I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thank you.
Let's see if we can get a couple of these voicemails of getting in. Let's see. This is 618.
Hey, it's your buddy Turd Ferguson. I
Turd.
guess I got on the end of the show, but that lady that called in, that Gin lady, that's got to be another YouTuber because I watched a video today that had that exact same theory. So I think she's just trying to fuck with y'all.
Yeah, we get many people trying to fuck with us.
Yeah, we are aware of the other channels trying to hate on us and trying to fuck up our show and not make people watch our show and everything else. We're very much aware of these people, but it is what it is. They could try, you know what I mean, and everything else, and that's cool. We still here, we still doing what we doing, and ain't nothing they could really do to us. I mean, we the best in this game, and I don't just say that just because I say that. That's the way I feel.
You can't see us. Oh my goodness. Area. I'm sorry. This is the voice. No. Area code 516. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Phil?
Hey.
How you doing, Tony?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, this is Wolf Spear Cedro.
Oh, Wolf. How's it
What's
going?
going on, Wolf?
Good. I just wanna touch on the man in yellow.
Yes, sir.
He showed up just to kill Jim. I think he could show up anytime he wants. He showed up with a purpose. He was focused on Jim. Julie showed up. He ignored her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't know that. That's a good point I wanted to mention, but I forgot to. Like Julie, he could have killed Julie too, but Julie was just a fly to him. You are a fly for Vigo to swat. Like it was like Julie was nothing to him. It's just he was just like boop. Like he didn't want to kill her. He didn't want to do anything. He just looked at her like, you can't stop. You can't stop me. But he had no interest to sort of attack her or anything.
Yeah, I agree, but there's also something else too. He could probably show up at any time and kill anybody. So why did he show up to kill Jim? I think he showed up to kill Jim to push the Jade and Tabitha story. He wants Jim out of the way.
It could be. It could be a situation like that. Then he should show up and kill Kenny.
And open the door for Tony. I mean, come on.
He needs to get Kenny out of here, goddammit. Kill Kenny.
Come on, man in yellow. Be a friend of the podcast, man in yellow. Come on. What the hell?
Yeah, I just think he could show up to kill anybody. Killing Jim was for a purpose. He showed up, exactly where Jim was. He could have showed up in town. He could have killed anybody, but why didn't he show up and just kill Jade?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, he liked his song. I mean, he appreciated Jade's song. He made a point to say, well, that Jade sure has one hell of a violin player. So maybe he has some sort of like sick fantasy for Jade playing his song for him to bed every night, like being a marionette puppet of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, like when Tony said earlier that, in the ruins, Martin said they are coming. And then you mentioned that maybe the man in yellow is not the only one. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's going to be multiple versions of him or them. And they all work for the big bad, which is that Red Cave drawing.
100%. The Red Cave drawing is the final boss. In its real form. Yeah, that's the final boss in its real form. Like it may come in the shape of a human or something like that, but that's what it's gonna finally look like when it's all said and done.
Do you think we've seen what it is?
No, I don't think we've seen it yet. I don't think they've shown it yet in the show.
Okay.
Only on the wall.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call, and I look forward to see what's going to happen in season 4.
Yeah, in a year. Me too. I can't wait. I hope you guys. Hope everyone stays with this show, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And Tony, I know we're gonna be talking about the show a lot in the off season as well.
Yep. 100%. As for the people commenting, and we're going to end it soon anyway. Yes, listen, these other channels that claim the Frumily, let them be their little Frumily. We are the Familia over here. I've done a lot that I could to try to bring this community together, but in the end, there's always some stupid YouTubers who are jealous that always try to mess things up, and I can't mess with those channels no more, and I can't talk to them. I try my best to try to keep away from that because I've seen it in the Song of Ice and Fire community, but it just goes from community to community because there's always going to be people out there who just are just jealous and just hate you. So that whole Frumily over there, and y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't mention people's names because I don't never try to mess with their money. I don't know what they're doing and all that. Let them do their thing over there. Let them do the thing. You know what I mean? I can't mess with them. No, I can't fuck with them. I got my peoples that I run with, and we sticking with us, and that's it. We the Familia over here. Let them be their little Frumily over there.
And let's see. We got the calls are off the hook, Tony. I know we were going to be wrapping things up, but it's hard when we get the calls coming off the hook. 816. What's your call? What's your question? What's your comment? Oh, bye 816. I'm sorry. But 916. Let's see. 916. Let's play this voicemail. Oh, I think your voicemail. There's no audio on it. I'm sorry. PM. For some reason, I'm playing it right now. There is nothing, but we do have a voicemail from the voice of 916.
Hello, this is the voice at 916. I was wondering, is it a plot hole or am I not clicking with this? When we speak about the monsters, and the monsters are supposed to be the parents of the children of the Ankui kids. Well, why are there younger monsters like the first one that killed Porn Stash and the young black one that came down the stairs at Colony House? Where did they come from?
Yeah, that does seem like a plot hole because we have seen the black lady, we have seen younger people there. I guess we could say that if they're supposed to be the parents, we had two different stories. We heard that they're the parents, and then we heard from Victor that they're the people that cared about them the most. So if you want to say it's the people that cared about them the most, maybe it's aunt, maybe it's a sister, maybe it's just other people that also cared about him that did that also, and it was everything else. You know, maybe it was a little bit of both and stuff like that. So it does seem like a plot hole, but we did get the explanation that it's the people that care about them the most. So maybe that's what it is, like the old grandmother lady.
Mm-hmm.
I think her kids were too old to sacrifice by then, but she may be a caretaker to some of the kids. You know, and how many kids were actually sacrificed? Was it just those ones that we seen, or was a shit ton of kids the whole town? You know what I mean? So it all depends. We got, you know, exactly what it was. If it was just 9 kids, or was it 39 kids, or 59 kids? Like how many people got sacrificed in there?
Each one of them sacrificed one of their kids. So is it one kid for each one of those people, or is it all the people in the town sacrificed 5 kids together or something?
Yeah, it was it was just the 5 kids for everyone in the town. Is all you had to do was sacrifice 5 kids, and everybody in the town got the same benefits.
Exactly.
And all that good stuff.
Quick question. So I want to ask Tony. So when are the aliens coming? I just wanted to get that clear. When are the aliens coming? Also, I think the man in yellow is responsible for pulling the tent and the rattling on the little mini hut.
So the aliens aliens are coming next season when we come into like.
I
Big
don't know if
Bang.
it'll be next season. It'll be before it ends. Obviously, it depends how many seasons there are. That's the last. That's the last thing. That's the last reveal. That's not going to be the first reveal. And the next season is going to be all about. It's going to be all about the tents and stuff like that. It'll be about the town, and the little village over there, and everything else, and the complications of this.
PM
That'd be the final stuff that we see. And yes, you're right. They definitely aren't like us. You know what? And I swear to God, because I'm teetering on it right now. I'll do a live stream and air all those motherfuckers out and just pull it down after and everything. But I will go in on every one of these small ass channels and all these other people from there. I will, if they push me. If they come on my channel again and do something stupid like that again, then I'm definitely gonna come out here and air them all out, every one of them. So that's just the way it's gonna be. So that they've been warned, they had their little fun, they try that again, then it's on with them. And then we're gonna forget about it. And there won't be no member stream. It'll be everyone gonna see it.
And Miss Crafty, I think we're starting to wrap it up. But if you want to call in right now, you can be our last caller, Miss Crafty Capricorn. But PM says voicemail just said, congratulations on Tony Teflon and Phil, because aliens were shown. Man in Yellow is clearly a higher dimensional being. And Victor knows more than
y'all will see it. Y'all will see it in the end. I ain't worried about it, man. I ain't worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. Miss Crafty, we're gonna wait here till you get through.
Yeah, what's your area code, Miss Crafty? I'll make sure I answer your call right away. What's your area code, Miss Crafty? Tell me. And
it was those channels that were trolling. They were the ones putting the spoilers in the chat. They're the ones calling in, oh, my name is Jen from the Bronx. But come on, everyone know who you are. Your voice is too unique for that. Come on, you gotta do better. If you're gonna do something, you're not a good criminal here. It's like my friend George. This guy was 350 pounds and he was breaking into people's houses. I'm like, George, your body type ain't that of a cat burglar, bro. You're just not built for this game. You know what I mean? Some people gotta understand what game you built for, bro. You can't be a 350-pound dude trying to crawl through people's windows, bro. It don't work.
Doesn't work.
You gotta think of something else, man.
You kind of stand out. Yeah, you kind of stand out.
Yeah. You just don't fit the mold, brother. It just says, you gotta figure out a different hobby here, something like that, But that's just what I'm sorry you missed a live KK. I will you can watch it back hopefully and everything else.
But yeah, Crafty, give a call in because we'll take your call.
And I also seen that a bunch of people were hiring Dave Airplay to do video shout outs and birthday shouts out from, and that's good. Listen, if anyone wants a shout out from David Airplay, you can go on that site. He charges $71.
Cameo's great.
He gives you 2 to 3 minutes worth of video. He's a great actor. Support the guy. Go up there and support him and get those birthday shout outs and everything else from your favorite character David Airplay.
He might even play the violin song for you for an extra 50.
Yeah, it's $71. Go up there and show that man some love. There's some people up there who get paid like $200, right? Phil, you had one of those done for you, right?
Yeah. Star Trek. Nana Visitor, who was behind there, one of the Deep Space Nine actors, Kara Nerys. My family paid a couple of $100. They all chipped in and had her sing me happy birthday. It's amazing. If I could have told them what to say, I would have had her say, "Listen to Phil the Issues Guy." Because you can do that, right? Like we could,
you can say you can have him do anything.
Yeah, should we get up $1,000 and have Al Pacino say, Phil the Issues Guy and Tony a horse?
They say anything you want. What's the name of the site again, Phil?
Cameo.
Yeah, Cameo. Go in there. Cameo. There's a bunch of actors there. That's right. KP, the 355 cat. Yeah, they'll do all that stuff for you and everything else.
Cameo is where it's at. Thank you. Yeah, Carl. Cameo is awesome.
Yeah, and definitely help the dude out. You know what I mean? He's up there. He's at $71. This guy's up there for $300. I mean, Boston Rob's like $250.
There's nothing wrong with paying celebrities to give you shout outs. It's awesome.
Yeah, if you want to pay a celebrity to give you a shout out,
it's awesome.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
I'm a fan of that, Tony. I'm a fan of that.
100%. 100%. You know, pay that person to give you a birthday shout out and throw it up there.
No,
maybe you can convince someone he actually cared about you and did it on his own.
no glue. We're not. Boston Rob. You all know about Boston Rob. I'm a huge Survivor fan, so I definitely know about
he's 250 for Boston Rob, bro.
Yeah, Boston Rob's, but he's gonna give you the like keys to life, Tony. He's giving you all the knowledge you need to like beat people in poker and like do all those Boston Rob things. You know.
Yeah, let's get Dave Airplay up there. Let's keep keep going in there. Let's get his money up from $71.
Yeah.
You know, you got a birthday coming up or anything, let that man shout you out for that, man. Let's get that man paid. There's a lot for us in the community and everything else. All right, we giving her a chance to call in. She did not call in.
Yeah, I did not see 404 pop up.
Let us roll up out of here and everything else and all that.
Yeah, my dog is definitely tired of my shit, Jesse.
It has been an amazing season for all y'all who have supported me, Phil, LMR. We really want to thank you for all the support you've gotten and everything else. You know what I mean? We really truly means the world to us that you really come back every week and you watch us every week. Again, we ain't going anywhere. I know there's gonna be people that'll leave and come back in 2 years. I'll get you through the long night. I promise you I'll still be providing content. We'll be doing other things like, you know, go check out that what was it? Abyss, that whatever it was, abides that they trolled everybody and said everyone thought the episode was going to be this long, and they just stuck that cameo for the next thing on there. And everyone was like, "We're getting a 2-hour finale,
71 minutes, motherfucker."
Yeah. Nope, that was a big troll. But listen, in the end,
we get Ragnar Lothbrok's son in some fucking was that Ragnar's son?
It is Ragnar. It is Braun the Ironside.
Braun the Ironside, Braun, fucking douchebag.
You know what I mean? And all that. Yeah, Glue Guns, find me on Facebook and I'll tell you all about it. If you find me on Facebook, I'll tell you all about it. Tony Teflon, it's not hard to find me. And my name of the book, and you know, my last name from the book. So it's not hard to find. I'll tell you all about it. But in the end, you know, I think it's going to be a good show and everything else and all that good stuff. We'll be here during the long night. Listen, we did Game of Thrones contest 3 years. Before they dropped another
people are all freaking out about 2026. It's almost 2025. We got like what, a couple of months left in 2025. 2026 could mean January or February, and I think
it'll be here before you know. Listen, I'm saying we did 3 years of Game of Thrones content before they released the season, so we know how to get through the long night. We've done it before and everything else like that. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is and everything else and all that good stuff. You know, so definitely hit us up. Phil, the Issues guy, thank you, my brother, for rocking with me this season as always.
Thank you, Tony. And Tony and I will be doing some random streams here and there. Tony and I will also be doing we got a candy channel we'll be sharing. We'll be talking about some food stuff. We'll mix in there, but I'll be on some stuff with Joe coming up soon. The Last of Us, whenever that premieres in 2026, Joe and I will be talking about that. Hopefully we'll get Tony on. And I know my friend Matt wants to talk a little bit about the Apple Plus show that we just talked about, that we're going to talk about freaking Severance. So maybe we can get Matt to jump on here with us occasional too, but we'll be doing Soprano stuff, and I'll be doing a ton of stuff with Tony coming up on the channel. And it's gonna be a fun. I got some big catch up stream I'll do, and I'm gonna get Tony over at the end of the year. Maybe we can do another simulcast stream at the end of the year, do some of our top picks of like best actors of the year and best movies. And
we'll definitely it's not gonna end. And I guarantee, listen, remember, you know, the Don came up with the gin theory, and I guarantee you'll start seeing that pop up on channels because
Tony, I forget which one. Like, I wish this is gonna sound really stupid, but I was in some post and somebody came up with, they were like, "Oh, according to all of this, does anyone think that, you know, Sarah might be, you know, Eloise?" I've never thought of this before, but I'm thinking that Sarah might be Eloise. It was an interesting.
We heard a lot of that stuff. All right, if you like the way to do this, please thumbs up this. I will eat for them if they try again. I promise you. We'll give them one last chance. If you like the way to do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the room, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know what it is. Peace and stay sexy.